Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for episode 103 of the MeepleCore podcast, a bi-weekly podcast about board games, video games, music, and nerd culture. I am your host, Tim Jennette, the Metal Meeple, and I'm joined by my co-hosts,
Eric Ledford,
George Breden.
And in this episode, we give you our first impressions for the board games Masters of Renaissance, Pan Am, Crypt, Ragusa, and Colt Super Express. After that, we have a special top 5 topic where we each have an individual, unique top 5 list and much more. Alexa, ask a random question.
Here's a question for you. If you were arrested with no explanation, what would your friends and family assume you had done?
Where's Matt? Where's Matt? Let's give it for Matt. I don't know. At this point, I think that I would have just lost it on somebody, is what it is. Ever since, my brother was killed or whatever, my fuse of being cool with people has been really short for a while. It's kind of on the back up. I'm on the upswing. After all the court stuff has been settled and everything in the past 6 months or so. But
yeah,
for a while there, I was pretty short with people. I don't know. That's what I think is maybe they think I just blew up on somebody. I'm not one to attack people, though. I'll destroy them with words.
Well, I've been known to be one to attack people on the soccer field.
Oh yeah,
that might be somewhat related. That's like a preview of my top 5 coming up.
Top 5 times I got in fights in sports games.
Yeah, well, top 5 fights. This one, I beat Jerry really good.
I get pretty emotional. I get pretty emotional about soccer.
All right.
What about you, Eric?
Oh no, man, I don't really have one.
I can't think of anything Eric would do.
Right. Yeah. I'm too good for that.
Goody.
I joined the force. I don't know.
There's got to be something related to your job, like, some kind of like house selling thing that
right
you could do wrong. I don't know.
like an accidental money laundering or something.
Right, you sell it to some like Ukrainian oligarch or something.
I mean, that's an interesting question because you think, oh, well, George isn't on here for board game night or whatever. He's arrested, and then you're just like, what would he have done? Yeah.
If it was me, I think it would be like my family would just think that guy that I found on the road that one week. When I was out walking, I just found that guy like laying across the road. Like they probably would have just come to arrest me for suspicion of.
Well, that's fair.
Being the one who took him out.
It's like, oh man, they totally are blaming it on him. He got framed.
I was the only one at the scene. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to make this a twofer then, since that one was kind of short. And I saw this online, and I thought this was a kind of a neat question. It was actually in a Facebook group that is for game design, and they say, what is your favorite size hand of cards? So in games where you have cards, it doesn't matter if it's just a card game or a TCG or a board game or anything. It doesn't matter what game it is. What is your favorite amount of cards to have in your hand? Like the normal amount, not like the maximum or whatever, but like the normal that you should have in your hand, but maybe you can go above or below or whatever.
Well, I'd say probably 5. I actually kind of notice a lot of games have a hand size of 5. Some go up to like 7 or whatever, but with 5 you have, I think it's manageable. You have enough options in some games, or enough different cards that you can have, but you don't have too many where you have too much to think about or keep in hand.
I'm gonna go a little higher than that. I'm gonna say like 7.
7's also good. It's not too many. It gives you a little bit more options.
Explain why.
Just because I like having those more options. I think 5, maybe that's not quite enough. Like you could have a couple crappy cards, okay, but you still have maybe 5 others that are decent. So
Oh, you like options. I got it.
Yeah. And I mean, it's
I
not,
like options.
I mean, if we're talking about like what's comfortable to hold, like I've got.
No, not necessarily, not what's comfortable.
Okay.
Specifically in game design, like how many, 5 is a pretty common number for deck builders, for instance.
Yeah.
Is that enough cards? Do you feel like you're doing enough? Do you feel like maybe you're too limited? That kind of thought process.
Yeah, I do, because a lot of times, each card it fires off more than one thing. It might let you draw another card, or it might, work off, this other card. So they combo off each other, and so even though you limit it to 5, a lot of times it broadens out from there.
Right. And I tend to agree with you. I like 5. I immediately, when I first thought of this question, I went to 6. But then I dropped it down to 5 because I like the idea of having an uneven amount of cards in case you need to do things like pair up cards for some reason. Then you're kind of stuck with this dilemma of having a card extra. Like, for instance, in Lewis and Clark, you don't want to have an uneven amount of cards because then you can't, always play things down to 0 to where you can camp and not lose any time. Although you'd have Indians and things like that you can offset it with. But I like the idea of having like an uneven amount. That's what I always like about games where it's always like 1, 3, 5, 7. Those numbers seem to work to feel a lot better. And I think 5 is a really good, solid number of cards because you're limited, but there's still some things you can do as long as the game's designed to allow the cards for multiple purposes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I like 5.
Yeah.
I like 7 as well, though. Like, I mean, I think back at playing like Magic, although Magic is really the card count doesn't even matter depending on what deck you're playing because you're just like, I play any card in my deck. But 7 does kind of get to the edge where there might be a lot of cards in your hand, and even though that's good for choices, it kind of hurts for like AP, not necessarily in a TCG usually, but like in a board game, 7 cards might be a lot.
Yeah.
Unless they're like Ticket to Ride, where it's just like one symbol.
Yeah.
It's a tricky question, depending on what game you're talking about. Like you said, an LCG is going to be different than a lot of board games. But now that I think about it, there are a lot of board games that 5 is the number,
Yeah. It's usually 5 or 7.
Yeah. I think that it was intentional that the wording was, what's your favorite hand size? Yeah. It was just, you know how people make the pictures and it's just words, like on Facebook, how you can go and instead of just typing words, you can actually make it like a picture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was like that. People are like, well, what do you mean by that? Blah, blah, blah. Give me more detail. I mean, like, that's the whole point is it's a design forum. It's meant for you to bring up the reasons. And if you want to point out different things, and cool. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a pretty fascinating topic. Well, anyway, that kind of just ended. We're going to move on to what we've been up to in the interim since the last podcast aired. Talk about some things we've been doing. And let's start with the, not that you're watching this on video, but the man who's dressed the best, George.
Well, I'm in a tie here because I didn't even have time after work because I'm working now.
Back to being employed.
That's the newest thing, gainfully employed. There's a bit of a saga there though because I became gainfully employed with a contract to interpret for the West Virginia School for the Deaf and Blind. I'm going to bring them up because they waited until the last possible second after I'd done a week of onboarding and then said, oh, we have someone coming in person rather than the remote interpreter that you are going to be.
Where's my shame bell?
We're just gonna break our contract.
Shame.
Alexa,
seriously,
ring the shame bell.
I heard you ask for Shane Bell, but I can't find that name in your contacts. Do you have their phone number?
No. Alexa, no.
It's the West Virginia School for the... Anyway.
Okay. You can always add it later under contacts in your Alexa app.
Stop.
Yeah, they just decided they weren't going to honor their contract. Like, after I'd gone through the whole interview and onboarding process and everything, like, the next day was the start of work, and they tell me that day, oh, we got a guy who's coming in person... we're just not going to pay you. So anyway,
that's ridiculous.
Unbelievable. But then I did get another position right away, which was really fortunate. And this is out at a school in Washington State. So it's also remote interpreting, which is what I wanted with COVID. And that's been working out great.
Very nice.
So yeah, here I am all dressed up. But before I say what else I've been up to, let me wish everybody a happy International Day of Peace. That is September 21st when we're doing this podcast.
Yeah, this will not be posted.
Oh no!
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I'm gonna have to hurry.
Hope
I'm a
your
little
day was
behind.
well.
I'm a little behind.
Okay, and then also happy International Week of the Deaf. That is also this week. So
Awesome.
those two things. And then as far as what I've been up to, I've been playing a little game called Tea for Two with Kat, and it's like an Alice in Wonderland themed game that is almost as simple as War, where you just have decks and you flip over cards, and who's got the bigger card is going to win that round. But you take the difference in between the two cards as to, did you win by 4 points? Then you have those points to buy another card into your deck. So it's a deck builder based on War, which is surprisingly fun, actually. It's really good.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it would be good, but
No, it doesn't, but it has a great theme and it's actually really fun. Check it out. It's a 2-player, very simple game, but it has a lot of decisions to be made, actually.
That's cool.
More than you would think from my description just now. Anyway, Tea for Two. And then the other one is, I think I might have talked about this before. The Search for Planet X is a great deduction game. You can even play it solo. I've been doing that and just having a really good time with that one.
Are you deducing yourself? Am I a traitor?
No, there's a bot. You're playing against a bot. So like the app that you play with will be figuring stuff out from what you do and from what it does. And then, you have to like beat it to the punch. And
wow, is it pretty good? I mean,
oh yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Is it like the app could be on your team as well and it could be a traitor or?
No. It's you against the app if you're playing solo.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. But the game is, I think it's more made,
Could you imagine that? It's like
people.
You're the traitor. No, I'm not. What the crap? That'd be a cool board game.
The app is to tell you you're the traitor.
Right. If it was able to deduce your actions and say, you've been doing some shady things.
No, it's trying to deduce where the location of Planet X is. So
gotcha.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I guess it just follows an algorithm of, going through and eliminating things that couldn't be possible, just like you do. So it's
Except
fair.
It could do it better and faster.
Just because it's computer. I don't know. I don't think it makes like mistakes. So if you made a mistake, yeah, you're probably going to lose. But but I don't know if it can do it any faster because you still get the same number of turns. Yeah, it's interesting.
Cool.
It works. It works well. So yeah, doing that. And then last thing is, Kat and I started watching Dexter, which I know that's not exactly a new show, but
it's been
I
around
hadn't
for a
watched
little
it.
bit.
And yeah, James had recommended it, and yeah, I'm enjoying that. And
oh yeah,
I'm
I
3 shows
highly
in.
recommend that.
Okay, yeah, I hadn't seen it before, but yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good.
That's cool. Yeah, he lives the life that I wish I could lead, where you just vigilante go and kill everyone.
What?
Wow.
Okay, let's revisit that question about the police.
Oh yeah. Well, he takes out the trash.
He does.
He does.
Interesting show.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really well done.
Yeah.
It is much better than the book series.
Oh, really?
Yes, the book series. Okay, look, the book series is a fine, read it. You read through it, or at least the first book. But then Rachel read it and she was like, "This is written on like a high school level." So,
oh no.
But then the TV series seems like it's written much deeper than that. But the wording and all that stuff in the actual book is very just like you're talking. There's no big words here and there. It's just kind of
made for a lower reading level.
I don't think so.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's meant for like an
audience.
audience. It's not meant for young readers. It's just written with somebody who doesn't know how to write books as well. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Yeah.
They don't have like a large vocabulary, and that's not a bad thing. I'm just saying that if you
have a low vocabulary, don't write books.
No, it's just like some people read books because they like the intellectual stimulation of the different vocabulary words, or maybe they're using some like Shakespearean style paragraphs and layouts and things. And it's not just like somebody telling you a story and they're writing it down. It's just not that deep as far as the words and stuff. The storyline is different.
Before the show or after?
The book came out first.
Okay.
I don't remember. It's been a while now, but I think the first book came out, and then maybe the second book and the third book came out, and then they released the first season of the show. But there's so much difference between the books and the show that you could be okay doing both.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's not like Game of Thrones where basically they use the book as the script. Like there's very few things that they changed, like
yeah.
It's kind of like on the line of Walking Dead, where they follow kind of the same stuff, but a lot of things are different.
Yeah.
Especially the cast and stuff. Anyway. Yeah. What about you, Eric? What you been up to? Or George, you done?
That's me. Yeah.
We'll talk about shows. I just started, only 2 sessions in on Ozark. Have you watched that on
No.
It's kind of like
what is that?
It's kind of like Breaking Bad. There's a guy that's laundering some money, and I guess his accomplice gets caught, stealing some money from the mafia people or the drug pen people. So he has to go down to the Ozark and basically find out how to launder money. It's kind of like a Breaking Bad kind of feel if you watch that.
Huh.
It's actually pretty good. So I'll probably continue watching that. And then me and Tim's played some Remnant. I don't know if we talked about that. I don't think we have. No. So so it's a game that we were actually able to finish and finalize, although it seems like it's a game that you played through once, and you experience the game for the most part, but you're made to go through it again, maybe at a higher level, and you can experience different parts of the game because it's always generated new.
Kind of like
time.
A Diablo,
right? So
this isn't the weird game that Matt was telling us about with the guy wearing a baby on his chest.
No, that's Death Stranding.
Okay.
This is Remnant, Fall from the Ashes.
That's right.
It basically, the gameplay is a Dark Souls type of game, but you have guns.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So most of the time you're running around dodge rolling everything because it's, very realistic. And the enemies hit hard and the bosses hit even harder. You can die in one hit in certain things that you're doing.
Okay.
You can accidentally fall off and die. But it's a looter shooter, so you run around, kill everything, get new stuff, replace your stuff, upgrade your stuff, go fight new bosses, and then you beat the game. And there's supposedly, I think, like 25 bosses or something, but you only really get through like 12 on a playthrough. So the game's like got this procedurally generated dungeons like Diablo does. So you play the same stage, but it's just laid out differently every time, and you might get different bosses. And each boss actually drops an item that you craft into like a special weapon or whatever.
Or gear piece, a ring or a bracelet or something that gives you some kind of special something.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it as hard as the Dark Souls? If you get killed, do you have to go way back and start way over?
The death penalty, no. But the game can be hard. I don't think it's as hard as Dark Souls, no.
Okay.
I don't think we ever got to the point where it's frustrating. We actually progressed every time we tried to fight the boss again.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it took us like 5 or 6 tries on a boss.
I would be frustrated after like the second try.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, so like in Dark Souls, if you are fighting a boss, it's usually because you made a mistake that you died. Because you didn't dodge in time, or because that game was like heavy feeling. So when you swing your weapons, it's real heavy. And so maybe you swung at the wrong time and you got caught by his tail of the dragon or whatever. That kind of stuff. That's what makes Dark Souls frustrating, is because you'll die for dumb reasons, or you'll die because it's your mistake. And it's
like
about
even going into the boss is usually a mistake.
Yeah, right. And so that game, I don't know. if you're playing a boss and it's hard, it's because you're trying to figure out what the pattern of what it's doing, and you're dying because you just get hit once or twice. This game is like, you play it and you're trying to figure out the mechanics for like a couple of deaths, and then you get it, and then you usually try once or twice and you fight and you're fine.
Right. Yeah, usually, hit him over at this spot, or wait until he does this. There's different things that you have to kind of figure out as you're playing a boss to find the best way to defeat it.
But it's more standard stuff. It wasn't too hard to figure out.
Most of it is, pretty standard stuff. There's there's 2 of them, and you have to kind of kill them both really quick at the same time, or there's you got to hit them.
Although that did take us like 3 times before we realized it.
Right. Well, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it for people.
No,
that's a pretty standard.
Yeah. All of it was pretty standard stuff. After he does something, I hit him in this one spot, and it does all massive damage.
Classic.
Yeah, classic stuff.
Right. It wasn't too bad. The game was pretty fun, though. It's a little short. I mean, we got it for free, so we can't complain too much.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
but if I paid $40 for it, I would have been kind of slightly disappointed.
Now, I think there is some maybe online content where you do other stuff. Now, we haven't really done that.
Yeah, we'll get back into it and try it.
Mm-hmm.
But we did beat the main game on normal.
Right.
And we're kind of going through it on hard.
Yeah, we probably could have even went past hard nightmare mode or something. Maybe.
I don't know about that. Maybe. At that point, it's just a gear check. So, I mean, maybe we could have, as long as it was dropping stuff that we can use to upgrade our gear and get it up to that. But, that's the only thing about, if it spawns more guys and everything, that's cool. But if it's just a gear check, does harder modes really even matter? You know what I mean? Like, if in normal it does 100% damage when it hits you, and then in hard it does 150% damage, but you have 150% armor, what's the point in the modes? I feel like if a game is going to have harder modes, they should throw more things at you.
Oh, I'm sure.
That would be cool. Or even have bosses that only show up in harder modes.
Oh, there you go. Right.
So it's just point, like, what's the point? If I'm geared up to the point to fight it, what's it matter if it's on normal or hard or on nightmare?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe percentage wise, they'll end up doing more damage than what you can get your gear to. So it'll do a little bit more damage, but I don't know. Some games just seem like a gear check, and you're just trying to meet those percentages.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a hard mode where it handicaps you. Like, you try to go left and you don't really go left.
Man, back when I was a kid, we were playing Chrono Trigger on the Super Nintendo, and my cousin didn't realize that there's an ability in the game called Confusion that gets cast on you, and it makes your controller all reversed. So left goes right goes
something
left,
like that. That'd be
up
real
goes
hard.
down goes up. And he accidentally was messing with the menu one day. He didn't realize this till later, but he actually inverted everything on accident. And so he thought he got confused, and the confusion spell just was bugged and broke, and he saved his game, so he thought it was permanent like that, and he was so far through it that he didn't want to start over. And he got to a couple of bosses, and it was too frustrating, and so he was like trying everything to fix it, and he realized one day when he went in the options that he actually inverted the controller.
Wow.
But he was trying it, even though it was like that. He was just like practicing.
He played for hours like that.
Super
like, this
hard
isn't.
mode.
Yeah, it was like self-handicapped.
Right.
Wow.
Eric, did you have anything else you wanted to bring up?
No. I think that's it. Other than that, I've been busy at work.
That's fair. The only other thing I'm going to mention is that in addition to playing Remnant with Eric, I have been playing No Man's Sky on PS4. This is a game that came out with a lot of controversy. Not really controversy. It just came out with mixed reviews because they tried to say that it was going to come out with all this stuff, and then they under-delivered, and everybody was mad.
That's most games.
Oh, no. I mean, like, this was like Fable version of under-deliver. I mean, Fable's original name, its project name was Project Ego, which I feel like was already setting itself up for failure. Because if you have an ego about yourself, we're the best game ever. No Man's Sky was kind of like this. They showed all this stuff, and then a lot of it was missing from the initial release. But it's been out for, I think, 4 years now, or 3 years, and it has a ton of content updates to where they're above what I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe they're above what they originally promised. So they have all that in the game.
4 years.
Well, right. But I don't care. I mean, the game stayed around, and they've got the newest update and everything. They even have VR mode enabled in it with the PSVR, and they have a lot of cool content and everything. And I will say that I am very mixed on the game right now because there's a lot of stuff you have to do in order to get to the really cool stuff. And there's two things with it. One, it's slightly boring in the beginning because it feels like a Minecraft style game where you're just running around like zapping things with your little gun like collecting like resources. And it's like your ship's offline. All right, go collect these resources to power it on. Oh, now you got to make the fuel to thrust it. All right, go collect these resources. You're trying to find it and everything. And so that's very frustrating, but I'm sticking with it because I believe once I get past all that, it's going to be very good. And the second thing is, man, I don't know, Eric, if you've played your PS4 recently, but after playing PC so much, the controllers feel so sluggish.
You can change that. Just change the sensitivity.
No, not even that. It's like if I took the analog stick and went click, it would be like click, move, click, move. Like there's a delay.
Huh.
It's so irritating. It is blowing me away. It's so garbage. I need to put another game in. I bought Borderlands 3, very excited. It did this too, and I don't know what's up with it, and I just stopped playing it. Like it's that bad. Like I'm gonna rebuy it on the PC just to play it, but I don't have VR on the PC, so I got No Man's Sky on PS4.
I wonder why PlayStation never made it to where you could have a keyboard and a mouse. Just plug it into your PlayStation and use that.
Nah, I don't know. I think you actually
just do it on your PC. You don't even need your PlayStation.
That's pretty much how Xbox is going.
But I mean, that's what you're complaining about. Like you're used to a keyboard and mouse, and now
I'm used to controllers. Like if I play the Wii or if I play the controller, like my Xbox 360 controller on my my computer, it's very responsive. Like it moves when I move it. And the PS4 seems like I move it. It's like a drunken response. It's like, you want to go what way?
It's the hard mode. That's my version of hard mode.
Apparently. So I feel drunk when I'm playing it because we're trying to aim at somebody's head. I'm just like, blah, 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 blah. Like it's so lame. Speaking of which, we're going to move on to the news. I only have one news item on here, and it's already going to be like weeks old when this comes out. But Microsoft announced, I wish Matt was here, that they bought Bethesda Studios, which is the people who made Fallouts and Skyrim and Elder Scrolls and all that stuff.
Wow.
So
hopefully that's good news.
It's not.
A lot of people.
That's not good news.
It's not good news?
No.
It's not good news for PlayStation owners, no, because it just means that either one of two things are going to happen. Either the newest Elder Scrolls and Fallout games are going to be exclusive to the new Xbox.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or they're going to be, which they probably will not be, they'll be exclusive to like Windows. So they'll be on the Xbox and on PC, but not on the PlayStation.
Right.
Or they'll be timed delayed where there will be time exclusive where it will be, for Xbox for 6 months and then it can come out on other consoles. I'm assuming the latter just because Bethesda seems to want to put Skyrim on every device possible. Like if it can run on a TI calculator, they probably would.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter now because they got bought out. They don't own it anymore.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the contract or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or the terms, like you can buy us, but we still have like free range on certain things. We'll see. I do believe that it's probably going to upset some people.
Yeah, if they're really into those games, I guess.
Right.
Which I never really got into those games. So
they're good stuff. Just speaking of which, the day after I bought No Man's Sky, I found Skyrim VR at Meijer for like $25. So I purchased that. Looking forward to going through that one as well.
Awesome.
Yep.
I got one more thing I was going to mention is a Kickstarter game that I backed just recently. It's called Cascadia, and it is made by the same people that made Calico, that game where you're making
cats
quilts and you put cats on them.
Yeah.
So in this one, you are putting together hexes to build a habitat of the Pacific Northwest. And when you take a hex, every time you take one, it's paired up with an animal type. So you have to take the hex and the animal, and then you have to put the animal in your area. And there's all these rules you have to follow for the different animals, and they can change because each of the animals has a different like 3 different cards that say how they behave and what they want. And so each game is going to be different, like a very different puzzle. So I got this one because I got the job up in Washington, and that's the same kind of area, the Cascadia area, but it looks really pretty. It looks really interesting. It looks like a good puzzle.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Look forward to see how you like it in a year.
Exactly.
All right. Well, before we go on to the games, just a quick plug if you want to help support the show. I'll keep it short, but go to MeepleCore.com and click the Humble Bundle partner link. You'll be redirected to humblebundle.com. Anything you purchased at that point will give us a small kickback, and you'll get tons of free not free games, but you'll get tons of games for pay what you want prices, bundle prices. So, 10, 15 games. You might get some books and software, things like that. It also supports charity. They've got millions of dollars to put towards charity. You can control the slider at the bottom to put your percentage towards whoever you want. In addition to that, you can also go to patreon.com/MeepleCore and give us a pledge there. And we'll, as promised for months now, we will add a lot of Patreon content on there at some point, do something kind of interesting. And yeah, so if you're looking to support the show, you can do one of those 2 things. Other than that, we have 5 games this time that we're going to talk about. We have Masters of Renaissance, Pan Am, Crypt, Ragusa, and Colt Super Express. So first up, we have Masters of Renaissance, Lorenzo il Magnifico, the card game. None of that is even in the... Go ahead, George.
All right. we'll just go with that. The game is a 2019 game. The designers are Simone Luciani, Nestor Mangone, or Mangoni, maybe. The artists are Clemens Franz and Roberto Grasso, and it is published by Cranio Creations.
I say this because the only part where the Lorenzo stuff comes out is on the front cover at the very bottom, but it's not even in the rule book or anywhere else. And it's just interesting because we hadn't seen the actual box cover for a while. And it's like, where all this other stuff come from on Board Game Geek. Anyway.
Yeah, I hear it's not even really in the game.
Yeah. So this game is a card game with marbles, and what you're trying to do is the game will keep going until somebody gets 7 cards or the one person gets to the end of their faith track. And at that point, you're going to count up victory points and such. But there's 3 actions you can do on this game. The first one is obviously the kind of eye candy to the game, and that's to visit the market. And the market is a 3x4 grid of marbles that are off in this little tray. And you'll choose a row or column, and you're going to gain the resources of the colored marbles that show up. However, there are white marbles and they do nothing. And there's 2 of every other color except for red. Red's going to move up your faith track. The other colors are simply going to give you a resource of that color, like gold or stone. And after you get your resources, you will then take a marble that's off to the side and push it in the row or column. There's like these arrows that you push it in, depending on which row or column you've chosen. And it's going to knock the marbles 1 off, right? It's going to move them 1 space. So the very last one's going to drop out into the little tray and roll around and be prepared for the next person. That's that action. As you get resources, they're going to go on your player board, and you have like this cabinet looking thing or shelves where you have a 1 spot, a 2 spot, and a 3 spot. Each of these shelves have to be identical resources. So if you get gold, it has to go on 1 shelf. You can't split them you can't have gold on 2 different shelves, and each shelf can only be 1 type of resource. So you're kind of limited there. It's like a little puzzle. The second type of action once you're gathering all these resources, is to purchase a development card. There's a grid of cards out there, and each one has, at the beginning of the game, you shuffle them up. There's level 1s, level 2s, and level 3s, and each one has 4 different colors. And they, you have to purchase like the level 1s first, because you only have 3 slots on your player board to put them. And you have to put a level 2 on top of level 1, but it doesn't matter the color. So you can put blue on top of yellow as long as it's level 1 to level 2. And they have different resources, so it might cost like 3 gold and 2 stone to purchase and things like that. So that's the second action. And the third type of action you can do is produce. So all those cards you've been purchasing, as you put them on top of each other, they cover each other up, right? So only the top card of each of your 3 spots in your tableau counts or have the abilities to produce. So when you produce, it's simply converting resources into other resources. So you usually, get a better payout that way. And there's a printed one on your board where you can trade 2 for 1. And this is going to give you a lot of resources that will go into like this store box, like a warehouse box, and any number of resources can be there. So that's one way you can kind of gather up a lot of resources, because some of these development cards might cost like 7 of one type, like when you buy the level 3 stuff, and you can't have 7 of that in your shelves because there's only a 1, 2, and a 3 slot. And so the most you can have of one resource is 3. So you have to be able to produce to be able to get resources to buy the later cards. In addition to that, there's only 2 other things I'll mention, then we'll talk about the game. There's this faith track at the top of your player board, and that's simply like the farther you go, the more victory points it's worth, because it goes past these thresholds. However, there are 3 spots on the board where it's like a Pope space, and when that gets activated, all the other players, including you, will flip over their victory point tile for that section if they've made it far enough. So there's like a little outline portion of that track, and if you haven't made it to that, you actually lose that token, so you don't get the bonus victory points. So it is kind of like a race in that manner. And lastly, there are leader cards at the beginning of the game. Each player will get 4, and you're going to pick 2 of those, and these can be played as a free action. They just have like a threshold cost. So it might say you need 2 blue banners and 1 yellow banner, but it's not actually going to spin those cards. It just means that you have to have those in your tableau, and they will be placed out, and they'll give you special abilities. Sometimes they'll give you extra storage space for specific resources, or maybe they'll give you a resource type for white dice. So white dice for everybody else means nothing, but maybe it's going to give you gold pieces at that point. Anyway, like I said, you're going to play until somebody has purchased 7 cards, or one player has made it to the very end of their faith track. And at that point, the game plays until the end of the round, and you count up a bunch of victory points for various things, such as your development cards you purchase, not your development cards. Yes, your development cards you purchase, your leader card if you played it, how far in the faith track you are, and then there's some conversion and stuff. So let's start with Eric. Eric, what'd you think about this one?
Yeah, I ended up liking this one quite a bit. Definitely, if you like games where you're managing resources, you are trying to build an engine and try to be efficient in how you do things, I think this is going to be up your alley. So, in the game, you are really trying to, like I said, kind of build up that engine, get, specific resources and cards that turn those resources into another resource that maybe then you can use to either buy a card or to pull back in and use that resource again to, go up on your face track or whatever. So I thought for the how lightweight it is, I thought it was easy to teach. There's not a lot to the game, but there's a lot to think about while you're playing it. So
it almost has that. Yeah, it almost has that. Not quite filler, but that 45-minute mark. I can't remember how long this one was.
Let's see. But while you're talking, I can look it up.
George, what do you got? You want to throw out some points?
Yeah, I'll agree that the game is fairly light, and I did enjoy the marble part of it.
Mm-hmm.
That was enjoyable. It's very tactical. You can't plan ahead as much as you might like, because things are going to change around before it gets back to you. But
you can hope for,
you can hope for whatever you want. Yeah,
certain situations. Sure.
Which is why I think that Board Game Geek community has said that it's best with 2 players.
Oh, really? Okay.
I didn't mind it before, though.
No, yeah, I thought it was fine.
Thought it was pretty good. I did like the marble thing. I liked, it's very quick. You do your turn. It just moves right along. Unless you overthink it, I guess, but don't do that. And the way that the game, the one thing I'll say about it is I'm not sure that I like this kind of game where you get things to turn them into other things and just do it more efficiently. I don't know if that's really my thing. I'm not sure how exciting that is. You get things.
It's exciting.
And the marble thing is fun, but then the rest of it is kind of like a chore to me. But yeah, it's just...
I would say it's not overly thematic. Why can't I have my resources on the same shelf?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Arbitrary limitations for sure.
Yeah, and that I appreciate that it made you have to think about what you were doing a little bit more. And that faith track, which is the timer for the game.
Or one of the timers, yep.
Yep. What was the other timer? I can't remember.
Getting 7 cards.
Oh,
or
yeah.
buying up 7 of the cards.
Right. Okay. Well, that's fair, yeah. At least there's 2 ways to win, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I really like the marble thing. I think it is pretty cool. And with 4 players, yeah, you can run into the idea. Like early on, for sure, you'll run into this where everybody's doing the market action, so the little grid of marbles changes quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But later on, I think it's not as big of a deal.
It doesn't
because
change as often, right?
Right, it's not changing as often because people they need to spend the time to produce, or maybe they want to actually buy a development card, and so no one uses the marble track, or maybe one person does, and it pushes like a white marble off of the row that you were going to pick. So it's really, I think, only a big deal in the beginning of the game. But I mean, it can be slightly annoying in the beginning because you might you have to go to the market. That is the beginning of the game. You don't have resources otherwise. So if you're going later on, I mean, the game does have some kind of offset for going later in the round from the start player. But if the stuff gets mixed up too much and you just get random resources compared to what you can buy on the track, you might have to go another turn more than the other players. So
I really did like it. I think it's more elegant way to do things than having a bunch of worker placement spots. And now I'm going to go here and just get stone. I can just go to this marble
there's
thing.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. But it's more. It could be tedious. Whereas this one, I can get stone and this other thing, so it'll help me with both things that I need.
Yeah. Or I made I made an engine that works off coin, and someone just set me up when I could get 2 coins this round.
Yeah.
True, but I do like that they built in this you have to be careful mechanism, because anything that you can't store on your shelves from the market gets discarded, and anytime you discard a resource, everybody else's faith track goes up 1.
Right, they get a benefit. So it does, and it happened to me where, I didn't math it out just right, and it was like, oh man, I came up with 1 extra resource. Everybody else benefits from your mistakes.
Yeah. It probably cuts down on hate drafting too. If there's a really nice layout of stuff and everybody else needs it, you just take it and burn all the resources because maybe you're already set up to do your purchase or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think that's probably not a good strategy anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
No, but it was an hour and 20 for 4 players. Our first time through, we was probably even going kind of slow. So
yeah, we did play this on Tabletop Simulator. We will mention that, obviously because of the COVID stuff. But I'll tell you this, I stand strong with this Tabletop Simulator of games that I play, and then I go buy them because I will absolutely buy this. Although I will say the price point is kind of high for it.
I felt that it was kind of high for maybe the length of the game or
like the style of game, not necessarily the components.
Is filler plus, like you said. Of course, at 2 players, I see this one definitely being in the 30-40 minute kind of time frame.
Yeah.
How would you rate this game in comparison to other filler plus games that have marbles, like let's say
there's like one.
No, like Gizmo.
Oh, well, 2.
Here's the thing.
Or Potion Explosion.
Right.
You know,
or the Count of Monte Cristo.
Would you put this ahead of any of those games?
I would put it like Count of Monte Cristo was good. I liked it. I like this probably better, even though Count of Monte Cristo was pretty cool. Gizmos, I don't even classify as a marble game because it matters not. Like it might as well just be a deck of cards. The marbles don't mean anything. Like the marbles are a resource that comes out, but it just means that there's like 4 or 5 available at a time, and you buy them and put them in this little circle. There's no mechanism to the marbles. They're just a resource color.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like Potion Explosion where there's an actual puzzle to moving around the marbles, or like this game where there's a reason that they're set up the way they are. Count of Monte Cristo. Count of Monte Cristo has like this action thing. So as you do an action, you put your marble back on another line of marbles. And so as the people do those actions, your marbles show up or whatever.
Yeah.
So like they're utilizing the marbles in clever ways. Gizmos is just like, here's some marbles. These are resources that are annoying.
But Gizmos is also a game where you get resources and change them into other things.
Yeah, I know. You were just talking about the marble stuff.
Yeah, right.
But there's a lot of games that don't have marbles where you're doing this, churning commons to uncommons to rares and then spending them.
Yeah.
And it's good. It's good. It's good. If it didn't have the marbles, it would be fine. It's a fine game. The marbles is just enough gimmick, and it's done well to push it above other games of its caliber, I guess.
Okay.
To me.
Yeah. No, that's fair answer. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm picking this one up.
Cool.
Yeah. I'll look at this one as well. If it comes around, maybe it goes on sale or something. I'll pick it up.
Yeah.
I'll play your copy.
That's fair.
Sometimes. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. All right, well, anything else? You good?
No.
George? Eric?
Good.
Cool. All right, well, that is... Hold on, let me get it. That is Masters of Renaissance, Lorenzo Il Magnifico, the card game.
Ah, you got it.
Why is it called the card game? It should be the marble game. Anyway, that's Masters of Renaissance. Next up on the podcast, we're talking about Pan Am.
This is a 2020 game. The designer is Prospero Hall, artist Prospero Hall, and the publisher is Funko Games.
So Pan Am is obviously after the airlining. Am I saying that right? Airliner. I don't know.
Airline?
It's about airplanes.
I would just say airline.
Airline. It's late, guys. It's like almost 11:30 at night. Anyway, this game is a game that you can find in Targets. It's a mass-produced game by Prospero Hall, same people that came out with Horrified and the Funko Games, I believe. Anyway, in this game, what you're kind of doing is putting airplanes out on different routes, and then Pan Am is going to be coming around and buying up those routes from you, and that's how you get money. You're going to try to change that money into stock in Pan Am, and at the end of the game, after 7 rounds, whoever has the most stocks is the winner. Money is a tiebreaker. So I'll kind of quickly go through one round of how the game is played. You just do that 7 times, basically. This game is... I'm not going to go over all the rules, so I'm going to kind of skip through some things, and when we talk about what we think about the game, maybe we'll bring up things that we kind of skipped over. But the game is kind of a worker placement game in the same vein as Vegas Showdown, where the worker placement spots actually have bidding tracks. And so when you go on that track, you pay a certain amount of money, not right then, but you'll say, I'm going to go to the air, like I'm going to place an airport. It has a 3579. So I can go on any of those numbers. But then if the next player who goes there, they have to play on a space that's higher than mine, and it will boot my person off, and then I can put it back out some other time. And there's a bunch of different spaces, which I'll talk about here in a minute. But once everybody has played all their, what do they call it actually? The little meeples.
Engineers.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Once you place all your engineers, and depending on the player count, you get more or less. I think it's 5-4-3 for a 2, 3, and 4 player game. And after everybody's placed their engineers or have passed consecutively, that part is done, and then you move on to actually resolving these spaces, and they're done in alphabetical order. So to do the airport, it's A. That's just convenience. It'd be funny if all the spaces actually were the letter of the alphabet. But when you place an airport, you simply get to place an airport on one of the cities on the map, which is obviously the map of the world. The B are the destinations. There's 4 different slots for those that you can pick up cards, and these cards are just one of the cities on the main world map. Then there are planes that you can purchase. These planes are 1, 2, 3, and 4 value, and that's simply for the routes on the board between 2 cities. It might require a 1 plane or a 2 plane or a 3 plane or a 4. It's kind of like the distance of that route. So you got to have a bigger plane to travel farther. The 3 and 4 unlock later on in the rounds. But you do need planes because you only start with so many of those. I think you start with 2 1s and a 2, if I remember correctly. And then there's a route space, and this is a little bit different than the other spaces in that it's a first come first serve. So if you put a engineer there, you're going to build a route in that order. So it doesn't actually cost you money to build routes. It just costs you an airplane, and you have to have some requirements. So if you wanted to build a route between Guam and Wake, for instance, or from San Francisco to Mexico City, then you will have to have landing rights in those cities. And to have landing rights, you either need an airplane on that city, you need to have the card for that city, you need to have the ability to discard a card of the same color. So for instance, Guam and Manila are both in the green palm tree kind of area. There's a different color regions. And so you can, if you had Midway, for instance, you could discard that card since it's a green card to give you temporary landing rights for Guam. If you don't have that, and maybe you have the airport in Manila. So therefore you could place a plane on the route in between those 2 cities. You can also go as far as discarding 2 colors of another color, like 2 reds, for instance, or purple, to have temporary landing privileges in a different color. So 2 red you can discard for the green city, that Guam city that you needed. Anyway, that's how you place a route, but you also have to have that value airplane available as well. And the last worker placement space is E, which is directives. And these are decks. This is a deck of card that gives you a special ability that's usually like a one-time, like upgrade a plane for free, or sell one of your planes for a specific amount of money, or maybe at the end of the game you get a free stock. After all that, I should mention there is actually a deck. There's a couple of decks of cards for the events. This happens at the beginning of each round, so before all the worker placement stuff. And there's 7 rounds to the game, and there's like actually different events for each of those rounds. So for instance, you will kind of you'll shuffle up all the round event cards and then take a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4, etc. to build the 7 cards you will play through the game. The very first card is actually going to set the stock price, and every event card thereafter will determine the expansion of Pan Am. So after you've done your routes and you get your directives and you've done all those spaces, then some other stuff happens. But at the end of each round, basically what you're going to do is roll a Pan Am dice, depending on the event card. Sometimes you'll roll it twice, and it's going to expand the Pan Am airline into different areas. And it always starts, I believe, in Miami or something, or New York. I can't remember which one. Miami. So from Miami, there's 3 different routes that it can go, which is basically like a dotted line or a hash line or whatever. And on the die, it's a 6-sided die, but it's pretty big. And it has like the different lines, the different versions of the lines, like a dotted line or a hash or a, diagonal lines. And that shows you which route it's going to expand on. And I guess this is probably some kind of international flight path or something, but whatever. There's probably names for each of these, and I'm butchering them, but you'll roll it. Pan Am will expand out. If you had an airplane in that route, you actually get to sell it to Pan Am, and you get a ton of money based on a chart. And then that's the end of the round, other than you also get to buy stocks at that point for the stock value. And then you'll flip out a new event card and do the whole thing again and again and again and again until the end of the 7th round. And whoever, at that point, you'll sell all your routes and stuff. And then whoever has the most stocks will be the winner. If I forgot anything that you want to specifically point out, just bring it up. But we'll start with George on this one. What do you think of this one? Well, that's a great response. Or should I start?
Maybe you should start. This one was, I'm really conflicted on this one because it was okay. I see what it was doing. I knew how to play the game. I just wasn't satisfied with playing the game because
you wanted to keep all your routes.
If I'm building routes and I'm putting out airlines and things, like I'm building that. I want to keep it. I want that to be my thing. And this
is not that type of thing.
No, it just said Pan Am comes and buys your stuff. You have no choice.
Which is really kind of what you want. It's really a stock or a stock manipulation, or you're not really manipulating stocks really, but it's a game where you're trying to do different routes and hopefully they will be bought so it can give you some incremental grant gains. So then you can use that money to do some other stuff or build another route to then sell that route to hopefully turn around and put into more stocks.
Right.
So just building routes. Actually, just building routes is not that bad, and you can build routes further away from Pan Am.
Which I did, hoping that they wouldn't get there, but they did eventually.
Yeah.
It's just so funny to hear that. What's interesting is that there's some routes in the game that obviously are not part of those international travel lines that Pan Am goes on. And so they'll never get bought up by Pan Am, except maybe some of the events will say like you can sell routes or whatever.
Or when you roll the Pan Am die, there's like a Pan Am symbol, and everybody can sell one of their routes to Pan Am.
That's true. It's just a really weird concept to me, and I don't like it. Because you build a route, and say you put a level 3 route out there, right? You get 3 income. So at the beginning of each round, you'll get 3 income. But if you sell a level 3 thing to Pan Am, it gives you $12.
Right.
Which is essentially 4 rounds worth of money. So I could see the idea that you want to sell it because I'd rather have all that money now because the game's only 7 rounds long.
Right.
So that's a good investment that you get it out there and sell it immediately.
Yeah, it went really, really fast.
Yeah, but I don't know if I like that idea. You know what I mean?
I'm with you. No, it's not satisfying.
Well, you didn't necessarily have to. You can if you don't want to.
No, that's dumb.
No, I'm going to say you can if you
could handicap yourself.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's a handicap because at the end of the game you're going to sell anyway. So if you put something out at you're 2 out earlier on and you put it somewhere where Pan Am's not going to buy it, you're going to get 2 income for 7 rounds, giving you $14. And at the end of the game, then you're also going to sell that for what the 9.
9.
Right. So it did its purpose. It made you money round from round, and you also got to sell it at the end.
The stock price is going to be 11.
Right, instead of 5 or 4 or whatever it might be. Right.
So it probably is better to get the money early just to put it back into the stocks. But
yeah.
The other thing about this game is that kind of frustrated me is the fact that you need to buy stocks, but once you buy stocks, you don't have as much money to go out and buy the cards you need.
I think that's a integral part of the game, I believe, too. Actually, I did like it because you do have to say, it's $4 a share right now. I know that it's probably going to be $5 a share next time. How much of my money do I want to spend now to buy into the stock, and how much of that my money do I want to keep to be able to use to get the better cards, or maybe I really want to airport this round and to get what I want this coming up round. So you have to make that determination before the round even starts.
Yeah, and it's interesting that all of these tracks have various numbers on them. So you could put your engineer out on sort of a middle number, and maybe someone's going to steal that option from you. Or you could just go straight to I'm gonna spend all the money and get it for sure. Yeah, that was interesting.
I don't know. We talked about this as we were playing it, but do you all still feel after sleeping on it type of deal, that the rich get richer in this game. You know, if you got money, you've got money to buy what you need from other people, like take away their purchases. And then on top of that, you can invest all the extra money into, you know, buying stocks or whatever. And it seems like, you know, money is key. If you don't have a lot of money, you lose. And I feel like the first couple of rounds are so crucial that it's almost frustrating to continue to play if you didn't do well in the first 2 or 3 rounds.
Well, I
do think that's true. I agree with you, but I think that is
to some extent. But I think from round it kind of evens out anyway, because those people that made more money that round probably are going to buy another share of stock. They're going to be ahead, and now you as a person that's behind has to now somehow, you know, make gains on that person. Which this doesn't really give you like a catch-up mechanic. But really, is it rich get richer, or is it really there's no catch-up mechanic where, you know, now I'm behind, there's nothing that's built into the game that I could kind of say offhand that says, well, if this happened, I can catch up.
I think I do. Sorry.
I don't think there is a catch-up mechanism, and I don't know if that's unfortunate or not. Because the weird thing is I can appreciate the design of the game. I just don't know if I actually enjoy it.
Sure.
And that's mostly because I don't do so well on like
stock games. This is a stock game, right?
Stock and economics, man. But I mean, I don't mind like the bidding on the different spots. You know, that's very Vegas Showdown to me, and I really like that. That's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. It's frustrating.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes I'm like, you got to be kidding! Right. You don't even need that card,
George. He's like, I don't really need it, but I guess I'll take it.
Yeah.
That was me. You're right.
Yeah. Although I will say that it maybe, you know, because we haven't played this a bunch of times, but it seems like the last round of the game is very anticlimactic.
Why would you say that?
Well, I mean, it just, you know, for people who aren't contending with the players who have the most stocks, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you said, everything's kind of open, at least on tabletop. I'm not sure if you put your, you know, in real life when you're playing it, you might just have a stack of stocks. So you can't really be like, does he have 7 stock or 8 stock? You can't really tell. On Tabletop Simulator, you can just look over and it says he has 8, he has 9. So it's really easy to tell. So I think that kind of does diminish some things where, you know, you're still in it for 2 more rounds and you're 3 stocks down or 4 stocks down or whatever, and you know there's nothing that you're able to do to get back into the game. And I think that is maybe flawed or bad design or whatever. You know, it is an unfun part of the game. I kind of agree with that. But I mean, if you're playing in real life, that might not portray itself as much.
Yeah, but I mean, the scores don't hit that high. I mean, you can count that and keep track of it pretty easily.
Well, it got up to, you know, 13 to 15 or something. So there's a decent amount of stocks out where if you're not paying close attention, you won't know exactly how much someone has.
That's true.
To be fair, this is really Eric's kind of game. Like, you know, you're really
obviously,
yeah, you're totally into these stock kind of games and usually do really well at them. So I'm sort of interested as to, you know, how highly you rank the game yourself, because I know I'm not going to be into this kind of game that much.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
now I don't see this as it is, you know, sold at Targets, maybe even sold as a family weight game or whatever. I say it's family plus, maybe on, you know, it's not that complicated, but there's a lot of planning that you have to really do to do well in it. I think the directives area is pretty good because it gives you a free card. You do lose out on obviously using the engineer for that round. But a lot of times that free card kind of makes up for it anyway. Maybe even giving you a free stock, which I got like 2 free stocks on my engineers. So it really worked out. But also lets you kind of start the next round, you know, putting out somewhere. Or even more importantly, you know, you can set your first guy to take the first route next game or next round, which I think was pretty key as well.
Yeah, that was a really interesting idea that gives you a card and it gives you
first dibs, and the next person gets second dibs, who gets that spot. So I did.
Other than that, the first player marker actually just moves around. So if people don't go there and get that, then you might be the first player just from that.
It was okay, I guess. I mean, if you had the money to like snipe an area real fast, that's good. But if you spent it by moving your directive dude to like a zero cost of a card, it was kind of a waste.
No, really the best thing to do with directives is probably to snipe first player on the routes. So now you have first choice on routes. So really, that's I think the best part or the best place that you can put it. Or if you really want to, like George said, you can say, I'm going to pay the most for this card or this airport or whatever.
Yeah, and that's what I had to do so much during the game because I was not getting those cards. So I just kept grabbing airports. I just built an airport and then I could get where I needed to go. But I was paying a ton of money to do that.
Yeah. You know what? My favorite thing about the game, though, is how the world is laid out on the map.
Yes.
It's like this weird distorted version of the world, so it doesn't give you that generic atlas look.
Yeah, it's not your typical projection map. It's from a completely different perspective. It's nice.
It's really cool. Well, I mean, props to whoever did that. I don't know if that's a standard thing in maps at all, but I've never really seen it, and it looks awesome.
Yeah, it was good.
All right, well, anything else? Eric, you want final thoughts on this one?
No, I ended up liking it. I'm not sure if I'm going to pick it up. I think it's rated pretty...
if you see it on clearance at Target, you'll pick it up.
Maybe I will. I don't know. I did like that they went out and put those the airplanes, the plastic airplanes. I think that was a good touch for it.
Yeah.
I think it's rated a little high on Board Game Geek at the moment. It's like 8.0.
Oh.
Whoa.
It's kind of high for what I thought about it. But I thought it was a decently good game. So, yeah. I would recommend at least giving it a try.
Yeah, I'd say it's in the 7s or so. I mean, and I don't even like it. But it's simply because it would be like Siskel and Ebert watching an action film and then rating it. You know what I mean? Like that's not their style of. That's not my forte. This isn't the type of game that I'm normally going to be like, this is amazing. But I can appreciate the design. There's just some things that aren't my style, And I really do think that the last round is kind of a rush throwaway thing, but maybe I'm wrong. It just seems like the last round is kind of meh, because at that point you either know that you're contending for a lead or you're just like, can we just end this?
Yeah.
I'm so far behind now. There's no way, because you're right. There is no catch up style mechanism, or at least it's not obvious.
Right.
Yeah, I think if I played this game again, knowing what I know about the game now, I would have a better time of it because I know what to expect. Okay, it's a stock game. It's a game where you should really only care about money because that's the whole point, and in that light, I won't get attached to my airports and,
right, yeah.
and my routes. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
But it's not as satisfying to me. I'd rather build
not your
something.
Routes. You're just putting that route out there to make some money off of it.
Right.
It's not like this is George's route.
Yeah.
And so if I could look at it in that line, in that light, I would probably like it a little better, but it's not exactly my kind of game. But if you're going with a fairly easy, stock game, this is a family level stock game, I think, maybe Family Plus, like you said, but if your family is going to be looking at, are we going to play this or are we going to play Monopoly? Because they're both just about money. Absolutely this one. Play this one.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Although I will say that Monopoly has its fun times. I mean, it is kind of ridiculous. This isn't, I don't necessarily think that families are going to play this to have fun. People are going to play this game to be strategic. There is a difference there. You know what I mean? Like Monopoly, there are some great stories and people people bring in the whole like making deals thing, which is not part of Monopoly. but when people play Monopoly, they want to play it for the fun. Or if they play, certain other games like family games, it's like a really fun atmosphere. I'm not saying this is a bad game because of it, but I'm just saying it's not that style of game. It is a sit down, try to think, be strategic. And this is like not Splendor level, like don't talk, but you're not really going to be communicating as you play it.
Well, I think it has the same kind of nastiness that can go on. Like you kept getting, bumped off of spots and you and James were
That's
both...
what I'm saying. Like, you're just going to be sitting there silent and hoping that nobody just saw where you put your guy. And then the next person's like, oh, what? You ain't getting that. Click. And you're like,
Exactly. That seems like Monopoly to me. It's got that edge to it.
That's fair. All right, well, we're going to end this. And just as always, these are our first impressions. This isn't a full, solid review of the game. So if you're listening to this thinking, these guys don't know anything, keep that in mind. And I don't really care what you think. So that was Pan Am. If you're interested, go buy it at Target. Anyway, Pan Am. Third game on this podcast is Crypt.
This is a 2018 game. The designers are Jeff Chin and Andrew Nerger. The artist is Jeff Chin. And it is published by All In Games.
So Crypt is a small box card game that has dice in it. And it's a set, not really a set collection, but it's a collection game where you're going to be trying to get these cards from the middle. And you play through the whole deck. These cards are worth values 1 to 4. At the end of the game, whoever has the most points in cards will be the winner. So the way it works, though, is kind of interesting because depending on the player count, you're going to flip out so many cards face up and so many cards face down. For instance, in a 4-player game, you're going to flip 4 face up and 2 face down. You get to see the colors. There's 6 different colors that, like they have a symbol or whatever, but essentially they're colors. And there are values 1 to 4 of each color. The ones face down, you don't know the value, but the ones face up, you see the value and the color. You have 3 dice. These are called assistants. And one player is going to be first player. One player is going to be last player. It sounds funny to say, but it is worth noting that the last player gets a card, and we'll talk about that in a second. The first player is going to put their dice out on any amount of cards they want. They have 3 dice, so obviously up to 3 cards. When you place your dice, you actually get to select what value they go on. And if you put 2 or 3 dice on the same card, like you're bidding on that card, they must be all the same value. So if you put 2 dice on a card, it has to be 2 3s or 2 4s, etc. The next player is going to go. They'll do the same stuff. If they want to take a card from you and you have like a 5 on there, they either have to put a die on there that's a 6, or they have to put 2 dice on there that's at least 3s, because then it would equal 6. So they have to beat your value to push your dice back into your hand. The game will go 1 turn for every player. So it's not one of those games where you get pushed off and then you can come back in and put on something else. Everybody has 1 turn to put their 3 dice out. Maybe those dice get pushed back to you. Maybe they don't. The last player, however, can only put their dice on 1 card. So there is a stipulation. They don't get to do the eBay sniping that they wish they could. They can only eBay snipe 1 card at that point. At the end of the round, after all players have went, then the players who have the dice on the cards will claim those cards, but the catch is they have to roll the die or dice that was on the card, and each die has to equal or exceed the value that you set it at. So if you put a die as a 4, you have to roll a 4+ in order to keep that dice. If you don't, and you roll like a 1, 2, or 3 in that instance, then that die gets exhausted and it goes in the box. So if it's in the box, the way this works is on your turn, when you go on any rounds, you can choose to place dice out, or you can retrieve all your dice from the exhausted boxed back to ready state, basically. There's also a slight other rule where if somebody outbids you on a card and it was your last die or something, then you get all your dice back. Not really relevant right now, but it is worth mentioning because it can happen. The game will keep going until the whole deck of cards is played out and everybody has cards or whatever. And then you count up points. Now, there's another thing that's going on at the same time. There's 6 of these cards. They're character cards or whatever. There's a side A and a side B to them. And they are either scoring related, in-game scoring, or they're abilities that you can utilize throughout the game. for instance, one of the blue sides will say, as long as you have 2 blue cards, then at the end of the game, you get to score your highest blue card twice. Or the yellow card, for instance, has one where you can when you buy or when you get these cards, you put them when you win cards, you put them face down in front of you so nobody can remember or see the value of them. But you can, when you use abilities off these character cards, you flip the cards face up to reveal them. And so it also limits your uses of these special abilities as well. So like the yellow one, you might flip the card face up to re-roll one of your dice that you had to roll. Maybe you put a 5 out there and had to roll and you roll a 4 and you want to try to get that die again. So you might flip one of your yellow cards face up to reveal it and then roll the die again. There's obviously 6 of these character cards and there's 2 sides to them. So there's a ton of combinations. You kind of mix them up as you please at the beginning of the game. And that's how they're set for the whole game. So, that's pretty much it. It's a pretty simple little light, game. And I guess, I'll start on this one since you all started on the other ones. This, I will say, has one of the coolest bidding mechanisms in a game. And I am kind of glad that it's a light game, because the fact that you get to place your dice out there on any value is awesome. I mean, there's a catch. It's a press your luck type of thing, because if you go first, you're like, oh man, I really have to go out there with higher values because other people
hard.
could.
Yeah,
you got to hard if you want to stay in a 4-player game and get something at the end of the rounds. It kind of it doesn't play like it, but it kind of gives me remnants of Unearth, the game that came out by Brotherwise Games or whatever. Because Brotherwise Games has that same type of thing where you choose a die, and you roll it or whatever, and it depending on what dice you choose, because it has 4-sided, 6-sided, 8-sided or whatever, it's harder to take stuff with lower dice, but sometimes you have to. So it's kind of like this. It gives me a feel of that in a very small package, and I don't know, I really like it. It's cool. Eric.
No, I agree with you.
It's a small game. I mean, I don't know how much else to say.
Pretty small game. I do like the price point. I think it's like $10 or $15. So I do think you get a good amount of game for the box size and, like I said, the price point. So I like that as well. I did like the bidding aspect for it. The last person bidding gets to just take one card. They can't just do the eBay type thing and just take anything that they want. So I did like that they had that the rule there where they can only take one of them. Although, it kind of sucks to be the last player in a way. You only get one card, but you are guaranteed to at least get one card. Whereas that first player, you have first dibs, but if you don't hit it hard enough, like I said, you might not get anything at the end of the round. So
it's like second to last is the best place to go.
Right. And then, I think it's a good game. It does heavily rely on luck, and I think luck's going to pull you through more than, strategy on this game, for sure. But, no, I did enjoy my play.
It's quick enough to where the luck isn't as bad, though.
Mm-hmm. And they give you different ways to mitigate that luck. So if you're able to get the cards, you can re-roll or maybe get your dice out of the crypt before you have to kind of lose a turn, basically. That's another one thing I don't really like about some games is the lose a turn mechanic in it, where it's like, all right, I busted out and now I have to lose a turn. Don't play this round so I can get my dice back. I never had to do that, so I don't know how it feels. You guys, you can let me know. But
that's why I think they added that one rule where if you are down to your final die and somebody outbids you, you kind of get all your stuff back as well. And so you're kind of like a bait. You're like, take the bait.
Right.
I put a 2 out there.
Yeah. So we'll leave you with that one die. You can get one die or one card every round, and I'll continue to get 3 cards. I'm not going to take your bait. But
that's fair.
Yeah, that's rough. That is rough if you just do that, because
get into that predicament.
Yeah, it might be better just to go ahead and take all your dice back, because you're not getting a card anyway.
Yeah, unless there's something that you really wanted.
Back either.
Right. But that didn't really happen in our game. If anybody's it was down to 1, we just left them.
I did like the game. I really like the way that you bid with the dice, but then they're dice. You get to roll them, that's fun. You get to see, how it comes out. So yes, there's luck, but hey, it's a short filler and a very enjoyable one, actually.
Yeah, I didn't mind it at all. Yeah, I'll probably end up picking it up. For the price point, like I said, it's worth putting it in the collection as a filler game to pull out sometimes.
Yeah, this one was surprisingly enjoyable. Yeah.
And I actually have the physical version of this, although we haven't played it. We've played it online. But the card quality and everything, they're linen print and very nice quality. The dice are pretty cool. I mean, they just seem like Cheswick style dice,
Mm-hmm.
And what's even cooler is that they utilize the box, because like the bottom of the box, it's like place your exhausted guys here. So as you exhaust them, you throw them in the box. And, since it's a small little card game, it's not like that box is, deep enough to where you can't see them the whole time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of neat that you get to use the box as well.
Utilize that space.
Right. The only criticism I'll have a little bit is that, I don't know, the in-game scoring stuff was cool, but the characters as they come out, if they come out in such a way, you can basically have all in-game scoring stuff and no special ability things. And I didn't, you can kind of control that by just flipping things over until you kind of get a nice even match. But 2 of the character cards, which like blue and purple, don't even have abilities. They just only have in-game scoring.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of wish that one side was in-game scoring and the other side was an ability.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like that would be cool. Or, even just have, I don't know. I just feel like there wasn't as many uses of the abilities at a time, because there's usually only, out of 6 cards, there's usually only 2 or 3.
Right.
And if you're not going for those colors, then you don't ever get to use them.
Yes.
So I don't know. Maybe it'd be cool if it had some sort of baseline character ability where, I know yellow does it where you can re-roll your die, but like maybe if that was like flip any card to do that,
mm-hmm.
But then you burn it for something else. So I don't know if that'd be too much mitigation though. I don't know.
I like it. House rule.
That's fair. So yeah, I like it. I'm glad I picked it up.
I know you guys are probably not the two to ask about this, but what is the theme? Why is it a crypt? What's going on?
I have no clue.
Okay.
I don't read the storyline of this stuff.
I know. That's why I don't even know why I asked.
It says it's a light set collection game with a unique dice placement, blah, 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 blah. Risk your servants to secure the best treasure in this light. It just repeats itself at this point.
Yeah, but your servants are your dice, so I don't know. That doesn't tell you anything.
I don't know what...
Are we grave robbing? Is that what's happening?
That's what it seems like.
Here we go. We're going to figure this out. The king is dead. His last wish was to be laid to rest in the royal crypt with all his prized possessions, the very same family heirlooms he once promised to you and his other children. Feeling cheated and betrayed, you summon your most loyal servants to help you break into the crypt and claim that which is rightfully yours. Unfortunately, your siblings had the same idea. That's kind of funny.
So yeah, we're grave robbing, but we feel justified.
It's all right. It's family.
Right. It's ours anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Stealing if it's your stuff. No.
Good stuff. All right. Any final thoughts, Eric?
No, I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Cool. George?
Good game.
Yep. I agree. That's why I purchased it. I don't know. Actually, I bought it before I knew what it was. So I'm glad I own it, though.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is Crypt. So for the 4th game of this episode, we have Ragusa.
A 2019 release. The designer is Fabio Lopiano. The artist, and forgive me for this name, but it is Bartłomiej Roczniak. And the publisher is Capstone Games.
So Ragusa is a Euro-style game where you're going to be doing one thing on your turn, and that's it. You will take a building, and you will place it on the intersection of 3 hexes, and then activate all 3 of those hexes. That is literally all you do, and depending on the player counts, you have so many buildings to do this with. So in a 5-player game, you have 9 buildings. In I think a 2 and 3-player game, you have 12. Or maybe it's just 2-player, you have 12. But you see the point. If you picture a Settlers of Catan board, but a little bit more hexes, that's kind of what this looks like, except the bottom half is like cities and the top half-ish is like resource hexes. And just to kind of, I'm not going to go over all the rules, but I'll give you an idea. When you place a building, obviously, like I said, you're going to be in the intersection of 3 hexes, and you're going to activate all 3 of those hexes. The resource spaces will simply add to your player board a permanent value of that resource. So maybe you have wood and stone, and there's grapes, and there's olives, silver, ore. Those will actually increase, and basically it's just a reminder of how many houses you have touching those icons. So if you have 3 houses next to 3 different wood tiles, then you have 3 wood. There is some stipulations when you place your building, though, is when you place it, if it's going to be on a resource tile and that hex has multiple of your houses, you have to have a wood for every one of your houses that you're placing. So the very first thing that you place in the game must touch a hex that gives you wood, because it requires you to have 1 wood to place there, right? Same thing with the city tiles, except those require stone. Now, the interesting thing about the game, though, is it's there's a lot of piggybacking. So when you place a house and you activate the hexes, the resources don't really activate. They just give you permanent resource updates. The city tiles will actually activate for every player's house that's there. So as the game progresses and more buildings are around a city hex, when that city hex activates, it's going to activate every single building in clockwise order on that hex. So you kind of mooch off of each other. Some of the city tiles don't actually activate, but a majority of them do. And I'll kind of go over them really quickly. But basically, there's 3 of them that will give you resources based on other resources. So it will turn your olives, or not, it doesn't actually reduce your olives, but it gives you olive oil for every olive that you have, basically, right? So the more houses you have around olives, the more olive oil you're going to produce. Same thing with the grapes into wine and the silver ore into silver. There are a couple of spaces that will allow you to build this wall and towers that surround the city. If you're watching the video, George has a nice picture up in the background. But basically, these walls that you build don't belong to anybody, but you get victory points when you place them. The towers, however, are in your colors, and when you place those, they are going to go over top of the houses. So it doesn't matter whose house or tower is there. If you place your tower and there's a house there, then you go on top of theirs. If you place your tower first and somebody comes back and places a house, then it goes inside of it. Basically, it looks kind of neat. Other than that, there's a couple of other spaces. There's one where you can sell resources that you have, or not resources, but the commodities that they made. So like the grape or the wine or the silver, things like that. There's a market value, which is controlled by the ships that come out at the bottom of the board. And the ships come out, you can buy those when you go to the wharf. And is it the No, it's the wharf is where you sell the things. When you go to the market, you can purchase the goods from these ships that come in, and they will control the market value. Those little beads at the top of the board will go up and down on the different commodities. There is a difference between resource and commodity. Resource never gets retracted from you or subtracted from you. The commodities that they create do. Those are a value. You can only have up to 12 of each of those. Anyway, semantics for this demonstration. If you buy the ships, you get victory points. You get these other symbols because there are, at the beginning of the game, you do get a card that is like in-game scoring, and some of those refer to the different icons on the ships that you can get. There's also another spot on the board. It's called the, what's it called? The Cretan's Place or something? Cretan's Palace. I can't read it. It's too far away right now. But anyway, that will give you extra cards. You get to draw 2 and pick one. And those are extra scoring things at the end of the game. There's the cathedral, and the houses that you have around that actually don't do anything during the game, but at the end of the game, for each set of commodities that you have, it gives you victory points. Lastly, there are fish icons around the ocean parts. Those will allow you to, you get those, and just like the wood and the stone and all that, they're permanent resources, but you can permanently exchange those into other resources. There's a little chart where you can turn them into stone, or, you can turn them into silver, things like that. So anyway, depending on the player count, you will play all your buildings in the, I said earlier, as if you're playing with 5, you get 9. If you're playing with less players, you get more buildings. And after you've placed them all, there's some in-game scoring stuff that happens. Like, for instance, there's the kind of like the longest road, but it's like the longest contiguous tower / wall. So, not really worth explaining, but basically you can wrap it and get a lot of points out of that. Then you'll get your in-game scoring for your cards and things like that. And I think there's in-game scoring for the sets of resources through the cathedral and things. And so you get points. Whoever has the most points is the winner. So Eric, let's start with you. What did you think of Ragusa?
I like that it played pretty fast. You really are only taking one action, and I like that it has a lot of interaction with other people, because what you do kind of really affects what other people might be doing, because there's a lot of mooching type of interaction in the game, whereas I'm going to go here, and everybody that's already here is also going to take this the same action. There's this designer actually made another game that's really similar in that kind of aspect of it, and it's Kalamala. So if you like Kalamala, you might also like this game as well, by the same designer.
What's Kamala?
Kalimala. It's a game that he has. It's another game where you are going to places and kind of mooching off each other. Where
I don't think I've played that.
No, you haven't. So in that game, you go to a spot. If someone else goes to the same spot, then you and me take that action, and then if I go to it again, then I'm going to take that action twice, and you're going to take that action once. So it's kind of similar to this, where you have a hex, and as many houses that you have around that hex, whenever that hex fires off, you're going to be able to do that action multiple times. So really kind of goes down to kind of different strategic paths that you're gonna take, whether that's I'm going to make olives, or that also might be affected by those affected by the cards that you get. You get at the end of the game, whether you have these certain resources or whatever. There's quite a few different things that you can get points from, which is another thing that I liked about it as well. There's not just one thing that's, hey, you got to do X to get points in this game. There's, you're going to get some points here and there, or you might, go heavy on one type of strategy as well. So I liked it. Yeah.
What about you, George? What'd you think of this one?
I actually like this one. I like the fact that you just place one thing and you get what you're next to. It's super simple. It flowed well, I felt. Not my kind of game, I'll say that.
Yeah.
But, if I'm going to be playing kind of a straight up Euro, this one's not bad.
Yeah, I agree. This is, there's a lot of rules to this, just simply because all the different city tiles, other than like 3, because those 3 kind of do the same thing. But all the other city tiles, I think there's 3, 6, 9, there's 10 city tiles. They all have their own thing, and there's a lot to explain, but when you're playing the game, it almost makes sense as you're playing it. The only thing there is a little bit of a mind bend to get over, where it's, if I place here, then I have to have 2 stone for this tile, but I have to have 3 stone for this other tile, because it's the third building I'm building around it.
So can't do it.
But it doesn't mean that I have to have 5. It just means I have to have a threshold of 3.
Right.
And so, it does probably take one playthrough for some people to really grasp that. Mm. But otherwise, the game is super simple. What do? You place things. You place a building in one spot. That's it.
Yeah.
And then stuff happens.
Right.
And it's really about, the order of when you place. I mean, there's a little bit more with like placing the walls and placing the towers and kind of, seeing what other people are doing and trying to mooch off of them. It's like the game of mooching, leeching the game.
So it's also definitely a thing that, in the opposite respect, that you can actually get denied some of the resources if you're not careful enough. You might be denied getting more stone, so it really kind of hampers where you're able to place in the future. So also keep that in mind.
That's true, but you can go after fish and then convert, but you could potentially waste some actions that way.
Right.
But
yeah, you really do have to get in on the stone, and you have to get in on the silver a little bit. Like, you don't want to just let yourself be boxed out from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I think knowing that, that's fine.
Right.
Yeah, it's really only a first play issue at that point. Knowing it going into the game or on the second play, it's not as bad. I don't know if 5 players is a good amount for this game. I do think that placing 9 guys out is just under what I felt like excited by. Like, I wish I was placing like a little bit more, but it was fun to have 5 players worth of stuff everywhere.
Actually, on Board Game Geek, 70% of people don't recommend it as 5.
They don't recommend it?
Right. So that's the player count we played at, and I still enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it as well, yeah.
4 is probably a little bit more open. You can do a lot cooler stuff, I guess.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I've just realized this whole time, Tim, I've been thinking, like, what were you talking about when you were talking about the Cretan's Palace? It's the Rector's Palace.
Rector's Palace. Man, I think I brought up an image. I just quickly brought up an image to try to remember the name. And I think it was like an old prototype, and the way the font was written, I couldn't read it. It was too small of an image.
Gotcha.
And it looked like a K, like a lowercase K, but I guess, yeah, it probably was an R.
Okay.
In retrospect.
I got it now, yeah.
So it's a great length. I think it only took us an hour and a half, which is great.
Yeah, for 5 players.
That's a fantastic 5-player game.
And that was on line, so it's going to be faster even in person.
Right.
Which that makes my opinion of the game go actually way off, actually.
Oh, yeah. For this type of game and in the amount of planning, the only problem with it, though, I see is longevity.
Yeah.
Just because the board is static.
Right. That's a thing that I had in my notes here is, after a couple playthroughs, is my strategy is the things that I do going to feel different game to game. Where am I going to kind of be like, I usually try to put out a lot of walls, and I try to do X, and then just do that same strategy every time.
Yeah.
There seemed to be more than one strategy, though, because I did 0 walls.
Right.
And I came really close to winning the game.
There's 0 strategy, but it if the city tiles at least were randomized, then you can kind of look around and be like, man, that's a really good spot because it's right in the middle of all 3 of these.
That I like.
So I don't know if there's like things that get massively broke as far as like the algorithm in the background or, like in the matrix side of things. But it'd feel more satisfying if the game had a little bit of random setup.
Sure.
Right.
Because the only thing that's random is like you shuffle the ship cards and flip them out. And the market, I don't know. Maybe it's a good strategy. Boring. It's like, oh, look, wine barrels came out. Now the wine went up. But the track for wine is like 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3.
Takes a while
4.
to get anywhere.
It's like, okay.
Yeah.
The market track to me just wasn't, I don't know. But I mean, there's other strategies, so I didn't have to do that.
Right.
I don't know. I will probably pick this one up. This is a game that I was excited about being released at Gen Con, and I had it on our Gen Con preview. And then we went to Gen Con, I spent all my money, and this was like the very last day, and I was like, oh, I forgot to buy this game. So I was glad to see it come on tabletop, and after playing it, I don't know. I will pick it up. I don't know if I'll pay full price for it. I might wait for it to go on sale or get a deal, but I will probably end up owning this one for sure.
Well, let me ask you this. In terms of Euros in which you piggyback off other people, are you going to play this one over Hansa or Hansa over this one?
Talk about Hansa Totonica?
Yes.
You don't piggyback on that one, do you? To piggyback?
Yeah, you can.
Oh,
You do,
that's
absolutely.
Right.
You do, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't really piggyback in a way. You just get in their way and have they pay you to get out of the way. If you're comparing the two, I would say Hansa Totonica.
Hansa.
Yeah, for sure.
Hansa Totonica is a better game in general.
Sure.
But the other thing is because Hansa Teutonica, changes up a little bit more than this game. I mean, you do kind of still feel like you're playing the same game every time, but
right.
I don't know.
And you would give the same nod, I guess, to like Terra Mystica or something like that. That's going to change a lot more than this one will.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, Terra Mystica destroys this.
There's still, but there's also piggybacking is involved.
But this does have a very, very good length for such amount of players. I mean, that's crazy.
It absolutely, yeah. That's massive.
Dude, absolutely props to Ragusa because it says playing time is 40 to 80 minutes, and normally on Euros, it is absolutely wrong. I feel like even after you play the game a few times, it's still wrong because then people get more into it and they're thinking harder and trying to counteract other people's strategies and stuff.
Yeah.
This was, I think, an hour and a half.
Yeah, it was an hour and 33 for us.
Yeah.
First time, right.
We always add a percentage of time for tabletop simulator games.
Yeah, and tabletop, you putting out those, I forgot what they're called, the towers, was quite hard. But in real life, you're just able to plop it down.
Yeah, basically we had a dexterity mini game going on where we're dropping the towers on top of the houses and they kept falling over and stuff. So you could shave 10 minutes right there.
Right. That's very true.
So
yeah, it's enjoyable. It's short. It's definitely got its place.
Yep. Cool. I'm assuming that's your final thoughts.
That's me.
Eric, you want to add anything else?
No. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. I'll be picking this one up. That is Ragusa. And the final game for this episode is Colt Super Express.
A 2020 game. The designers are Cedric Lefevre and Christophe Rambolt. The artist is Jordi Valbuena, and the publisher is Ludonaute.
So if you're familiar with Colt Express, Colt Super Express is kind of a distilled version of the game that really just focuses on being left alive. Surviving, yeah. Instead of collecting money, you're going to simply just try to stay on the train as the train cars get detached from the back of it. So what happens is you have far less options. I'm just going to explain the game and not compare them at this point. But basically, you will take 3 of your cards. Well, first off, we should mention that depending on the player count, the train cars are placed out on the table. And I believe there's one more than the number of players. So if you're playing with 4 players, you're going to have the locomotive, 4 train cars plus another. So 5 train cars and a locomotive. And then your characters start on there in some sequence. And then you're ready to begin. Somebody will be randomly the first player, which also kind of determines where you start on the train and then in clockwise order. After that, you're ready to start. You're going to take 3 of your cards and put them in a stack in front of you, not all together like in the normal Colt Express. So you'll put a first card, second card, third card. Once everybody's done this, then everybody's going to, in turn order, the first player will flip over their top card, perform it. Then the next player will flip over their top card, etc. Then everybody will do the number 2 card. Then everybody will do the number 3 card. And the cards are pretty basic. You will either move, in which your character does have an orientation, so you are facing either left or right. You will move in the direction that you're facing, 1 train car. If you play, there's a card that will allow you to switch orientation, so you can switch from left to right or whatever. There's a card that will allow you to jump up on top of the train, in which you place them kind of above the card, or go back down below into the train car itself. There's a card that allows you to shoot. You're going to shoot in the direction that you're pointing. the first player that's in your line of sight will be hit. They will be pushed one train car over and then get stunned and lay down. Now, this can also knock them off the train if they were in the last car or in the locomotive when you shoot them, because they can't be pushed any further, so they get shot off the train. In that case, they're eliminated, star, asterisk. So that's all the basic cards, right? Did I miss one? I feel like I missed one.
How many did you say? You got shoot, turn around, move forward, move up and down. That should be it.
Yeah. There's also 2 other cards I'm going to go ahead and explain because we did use those quite a bit. There is the reflex card, which when that gets revealed, if you are knocked down, you will jump up and shoot the first player in your direction. If you are not knocked down when you play this card, your guy tries to be all fancy and jumps backwards to do like a dodge move, but you end up falling on your butt and you are stunned at that point. Their last card is the horse card. And this is why I said that if you get knocked off the train, you are dead, asterisk, because if the next card you play is a horse and you are off the train, you come miraculously flying back in on this horse to the front of the train in the locomotive, facing towards the front of the train. So in a very vulnerable spot, but you're alive. You can also use the horse to jump, you off the train onto your horse and go up to the front as well. So it does the same thing no matter what. It just has the added bonus of saving your life. After all the players have played their cards, the final train, the very last train gets removed from play and awarded to the player who is the furthest, who is the closest to that. So there's an incentive to be in the very back of the train. There's a tiebreaker, but we won't worry about that. And then you will play until either one person is left alive. That player immediately wins. Or you will play until all the train cars are gone except for the locomotive. And then out of those players that tied, whoever has the most train cars that they've collected throughout the rounds will then win. So, George, let's start with you.
This one is really good. I prefer this to Colt Express. It's so quick. It's so easy to just put out there and play again and play again. It's fantastic. Great filler.
Yeah, I agree. This actually ruined Colt Express for me. I thought it was going to be fun. We played it once. And I was like, oh, and then we played it again and some really fun stuff happened. And then we played it again. Oh man, it just gets better and better. And it's obviously a game where obviously player elimination is present, but it's like a 10 to 15 minute game.
Right.
So it doesn't even matter. And actually it's kind of fun to die in glorious ways too.
Yeah. You're programming and then silly things happen. And there's so many games that use that premise, but this one is so condensed and it's so quick and easy. Yeah, it's really, I like it.
Yeah, there's guessing and double guessing and be like, he thinks I'm going to shoot, so he's going to do this, so I should do this first. Yeah. So definitely one of those types of games, and if you enjoy that type of double guess and guessing on what your opponents are going to do, definitely hit it up.
But it's distilled down to simply, how can I shoot him and not be shot, instead of, well, I want to go pick up this briefcase and I'm a big target because maybe the briefcase is worth the most,
Yes.
Although I think you could just, I don't know for sure because it's been a while since I played Colt Express, but I wonder if you could just use Colt Express to play Colt Super Express.
Yeah, maybe.
Other than the meeples on Colt Express are facing left and right, so you'd have to maybe take a marker on the end of the gun to differentiate which way you're pointing, but I bet it could work in a pinch.
Sure.
So
yeah, and I recommend you do it because it's a better game.
Oh yeah, I don't even know if we have to say much more about this. It's I'm pretty sure it's unanimous, right? Eric, you picking this one up?
Oh yeah, I wouldn't mind having it. So definitely a filler level game, and if you need one of those added to your collection, I would give it a look.
Yep.
Simple,
this is like
family friendly, quick fun.
Yeah. This is like what they try to accomplish when they come out with a board game and then they make the card game version of it. This is like that, but done really well, because it's like Colt Express, but they like just crammed it in a small little box and took out all the complications and surprisingly, it works tremendously well.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I'm really excited about this one. All right. Well, not much else to say. Anything else? Yay.
Picking it up.
That's it. Yeah. I like it.
All right. Buy this one for real. So that is Colt Super Express. Also, we're not affiliated in any way. So for the final topic of this episode, we have something different. It's still a top 5, but the difference here is that I had this idea a long time ago. I kind of wish we could have gotten mad on this one, but it's okay. The idea is we each make a top 5 list that is mostly either personal or pertains to something that only they would make a top 5 list for, that the other two would not. Not saying they couldn't, but just saying that they probably won't because maybe it's a hobby or things like that they're not interested in. Like, for instance, I'm predicting, I don't think it is, that George is going to go over his top 5 soccer teams. There's no way I'm going to make that list. It's just not going to happen. So they already know what mine is because I prompted the whole list out for this. So I'll go first and I'm going to explain what my list is, but I'm not going to go over my number 5 yet. And then we'll go to Eric and then we'll go to George just to kind of explain what the lists are. My list is actually the top 5 most emotional, or at least to me that I've listened to, because I haven't listened to every song in the world, most emotional heavy metal songs. And what I mean by that is it's a metal song or a heavy metal song that has a lot of screaming in it. So if you're not interested in that, then my list is garbage to you, but it's got a lot of emotion to it, meaning that I felt something like either sadness or I felt really just emotional about it because maybe the content of it. And it's not a type of song that you would listen to. It's not like you're listening to like November Rain or something and, going to get, that teary eyed kind of stuff. I mean, you will, but you have to like this type of music. I don't know. It's really weird to explain, but it's a song that has a lot of emotion behind it that you wouldn't normally find in heavy metal's music. So very specific list. Eric, what's yours?
So actually mine stems off of a question I've got answered or got asked many times in the past. And it's like, where do you sell your games? I've sold like 900 games so far. So it's a question that I've been asked a lot. So I made a list of, these are 5 places that I have sold and I like to sell some of my games at.
That could be useful. That could be pretty useful for people, yeah. Well, all
right, George, what's yours?
My top 5, I figured, you would think I would do top 5 soccer teams or or top 5 soccer players. And I had a really hard time not doing that, actually, but I thought,
he's like, I will not be predicting.
That's right. The thing about soccer for me is COVID has ended playing soccer right now, and that is incredibly frustrating to me. So I made my list of top 5 sports that I need to be doing. Like, when COVID is over, of course I'm going back to soccer. Soccer's not even on the list because soccer's going to be like, that's number 1, period. But I made a list of top 5 unusual sports that I'm actually going to try out.
Oh, yeah?
I hope this list is really weird.
If I ever get the opportunity, I'm just going to do it. Yeah.
It's going to be weird stuff, I bet you.
Like stiletto curling.
Yeah, like that. Although I don't know what that is, but yeah, like that.
No, it's like curling, but you're in stilettos.
That sounds
really
dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds. All right, so I'll just go ahead and start with mine, and hopefully we'll end on George's very weird number 1. I really hope it's super weird. If it's not, you should change it. My number 5 is a band called Memphis Mayfire, and the song is Alive in the Lights. Now, I've got Alexa hooked up to this, but 2 problems with that. 1, I don't want DCMA violations against our podcast. And 2, I don't pay for Amazon
Music.
Amazon Music. So it's not going to play that specific song anyway. So we're not going to listen to the songs. But if you're curious, I will probably make a post on social media that you can go and look at. And once this video is live on YouTube, you can check the description as well. But Memphis May Fire, Alive in the Lights. And what's really cool about this song is it's heavy, but it has a lot of singing and stuff. And it has a very cool message where he's talking to his dad, and his dad's basically like, you should be a desk jockey like me and work at in the offices of a corporation. And he's like, no, Dad, I come alive in the lights. Like he is a performer. He wants to be on stage, and the lyrics and everything. This is when Memphis May Fire was really good. So, they kind of got mainstream a little bit in the last CD, and they've went very generic with their lyrics. Not saying that these lyrics aren't super generic, but they at least have a lot of meaning and stuff. Anyway, that's rude. The newer songs have meanings as well. It just seems like distilled, like very meh. This song in particular, though, is awesome because I can see a lot of people, a lot of kids, like using this as like not really ammunition, but using this as like inspiration to follow their dreams. You know what I mean? And it's just like really uplifting because it's like, as a performer, I'm like, that's right, man. There is some sort of chemical reaction that goes on in your brain when you're on stage. It is a thrill. And if you ever did theater or any kind of performance, it is like crack cocaine, dude. This is like, this is straight up the pure form of drugs, because the adrenaline you get from it is so awesome. And this song when I first heard it, I was like, that's right. If I wrote a song about this type of stuff, this covers it all. Anyway.
Dope.
Hopefully that was enough emotion for you. I just spit all over my mic.
All right. Number 5 for me is Where You Sell Your Games. And number 5 is Craigslist. Now, it's a little bit old school for today's market. This was
dangerous.
It's not dangerous. I've never had a problem, of course, with the board game crowd. So you're usually selling board games to other board gamers, or maybe some mom and pops that want to get some games for their kids, or sometimes you're selling to businesses, whatever. There's no fee for it. You can, if you're worried about meeting strangers, there's always places that you can meet them in, places that are public. In Louisville, we also have places that are at the police station where they have like a spot where you meet people and, for public selling and whatnot. So,
have you used those yet?
I haven't. I do meet in a public spot because I don't like to bring people to the house. But no, I haven't. I didn't see the need to go out to the safe places.
That's a neat idea, though. I didn't realize that was there. That's pretty cool.
I think there's in Louisville, there's at least 3.
Right. Yeah. So in Louisville, anyway, it might change for your area or your town. I think it's like 24-hour video surveillance of that particular area that you're gonna do this transaction in. So it's pretty safe.
Oh.
It's not armed or anything. I mean, you can still be shot. It's just going to be on camera.
I thought there was a policeman there, going to the police station.
It's like outside of a police station, kinda, I think, and it's video surveillance. So there's not a police person there.
It's like deterrent,
right?
Yeah, but I thought
if you're like, let's meet there, and they said, no, then you're like, okay, that's probably a good thing.
Right.
My number 5 of a sport that I really need to get into to get some stress out is chess boxing.
Chess boxing?
Chess boxing, yeah.
It's getting weird. I like it. What is this?
This is a real sport. This is a real sport where you play.
The pitcher actually has chess and boxing. This is
a genuine thing. You play like a certain number of moves of chess, and then you fight a round of boxing, and then you go back and you play chess.
So you stimulate your brain and your body
while you're gonna get beat out of you. That's right.
Yeah.
Don't disappoint me, George. It better get weirder from here. This is great. I'm curious. Why? This has to be fake.
No,
this picture looks fake.
No, this is a genuine sport. Like it's
why are there
look at the crowd.
on
There's
the
lots of
chess
people
table?
watching this.
What?
I don't see this as being a true thing.
Dude, oh my God. I hope he's trolling us.
It is.
I'm not even going to look it up. I'm going to let it happen.
But it would be perfect. You could just combine a board game with just it's not on somebody. Like you could put like Wingspan and Muay Thai together.
Yeah.
You could do
the next one's gonna, the next sport's gonna be lawn mowing football.
Just do like a Yiddish cage match. That'd be great.
Yeah.
It's almost 1 a.m. I'm slap happy. This is awesome. This is gonna be great. All right, Eric, this is what we're doing next time we get together.
Yeah.
Chess boxing. Yeah.
Yeah. Could you imagine old people in the park playing chess boxing? It's like, oh, man.
Yeah.
I broke a hip. My number 4, this is the most ridiculous list. This is awesome. My number 4 emotional metal song is by a band called The Devil Wears Prada, and the song is Outnumbered. It's off their Zombies EP. This is a concept album, obviously about zombies, so each song kind of takes place from like the beginning where the outbreak happens. I can't remember what the first song is called, but basically the outbreak of zombies happen, and then they become outnumbered, which is the song, and then stuff happens, and then they try to rebuild. And so it's kind of like a cool concept because each song takes place. Yeah, it takes place in like a storyline. And Outnumbered is, man, the very beginning starts with like a radio entry like thing where the radio's crackling and it's like, this is not a test. This is not we are, as a species, we're overwhelmed. We are outnumbered. And it's just like, oh man, you want to talk about people going absolutely ape crap in the audience, in the mosh pit. This is a song for that. And just the song itself and what it's talking about. And there's plenty of times, and I think the reason this is so emotional is I've listened to this song quite a bit when I was driving home from work at night, when I work night shift. And it is just a weird feeling when you're like driving on an empty road and you're listening to this song, because it is so just heavy, but it has like this weird horror element sounds in the background with like the deteriorating like where the violins are like dropping and stuff, and it's this weird creepiness to it. It is such a good song. Fantastic. The Devil Wears Prada is an okay band to me. I'm not super awesome about them. I like their first CD, and their second CD is good. This album is phenomenal. It might be my top 10 favorite albums ever, and it's only 5 songs. So Devil Wears Prada, Outnumbered.
So number 4 for me on Where to Sell Your Games is conventions, and conventions either selling them outright or doing math trades
when they happen.
Yeah, but not this year, but next year hopefully. So what's another way to not only get rid of your games, but maybe get another game that you like, is doing these math trades. Usually they're going to be the bigger conventions, Gen Con or Origins, or I'm sure there's other anything of a size is going to have a different kind of math trade associated with it. So if you haven't done that, definitely give it a try. You can always get surprised. Your junk or your games that you didn't prefer is something else somebody wants to try, and in turn, hopefully you get a game that you wanted to try, or that you really like. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I still haven't done this. I need you guys to get me into this. So,
math trades are so good.
Absolutely,
they are so good. I mean, it's probably been a while, but we did an episode where we had an entire topic about math trading and how it works and everything.
Yeah, because it's kind of it's a bit complicated. So
it is. So if you hit up Google and type in MeepleCore math trade, check that episode out. It's really cool.
Okay, yeah, we'll do. All right, so my number 4 is maybe not as out there as chess boxing, but it's a sport I would absolutely love to do, and it's called tech ball. And what you do is you're playing like soccer juggling with
your head,
like ping pong. So you got this you got this crazy table that you have to hit the ball against, and then
the table's like arched.
Yeah, it makes it tough because you have to kind of make sure you get it onto the table. It's like it kind of falls away from where you're trying to hit it. So you really have to have good technique. So they call it tech ball, and you can like do all kinds of crazy kicks and stuff to try to generate power and mess
I think
the other
I've seen
team
this
up.
before, at least. I haven't seen chess boxing, but I have seen this one. Some people have some stupid good kicks.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. But you use your head, you can use your chest or your shoulder, like the top of your shoulder, and you can use your foot skills to just pass it to your partner who's.
So same rules as soccer, right? You just can't.
No, same rules as ping pong, basically.
Yeah, it's the same.
No, with like body parts.
Yes, you can't use your hands. So yeah, tech ball
that seems kind of cool. There's no way I'd be able to do that. I'll stay with ping
you don't
pong.
have to be good at it. You can still do it.
No,
well, that's true.
There comes a point where you don't have the flexibility or the stamina.
Do you see what she's doing in that picture?
Yeah.
You don't have to do it.
I did that like 15 years ago when I was in karate. But
yeah, well, I'm 50, so I'm not gonna be doing that either. But I could still
try. Yeah.
No, I mean I could just use like other kicks. I could use other kind of kicks and stuff.
There's this YouTube channel I watch called Viva La Dirt League. It's like a European. They make fun of like PUBG and Fortnite and stuff like that. And they're really funny videos and like MMOs. But there was one. It's like talking about like the sounds your body makes after you're like 30, and like so they're getting out of chairs. It's like, and that's what I feel when I look at these pictures.
Yeah, that's true.
My number 3 is a song that I played for at least George on Friday. I don't know if Eric checked it out or not. It's Chelsea Grin. The song is Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
Yeah.
This band, this is deceptive, okay? If you go and listen to this song, this is not what the band normally, like, it's reminiscent of what they sound like, but they are super heavy. They're actually part of the deathcore band genre, so they're very technical. They have a lot of breakdowns. They're very fast and just they have a lot of like growls and stuff. But this song is like the U2 video of metalcore or deathcore, because it seems like when you first start listening to it, it's got this cool little like guitar playing in the front. It's like it's like very ethereal, I guess. And then it's just like oh man, it's crazy. But it is incredibly, when I first heard this song, it was so much different than what I've ever heard these type of bands do. And it just sparks something in me because I'm like, man, I really love that mashup of kind of like this U2 style riffs and stuff, but in like a deathcore world. Oh, check it out. I mean, I know you're not going to be able to listen to the screams and stuff, but they have a little bit of singing and stuff, but it's still screamed. Very good stuff. Very good stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, number 3 for me is Facebook Marketplace. This is kind of taking over the Craigslist market, I think. I think more people are going to Facebook since they're already on there. Later on, I think they are going to charge a 5% fee to sell something on there, at least for shipping. I'm not sure that they're going to be able to market any kind of fee for people that are meeting in the same city. But
everything's going to be free, and in the description it has the prices.
Yeah, right. So as far as shipping, they are, I think, trying to eventually maybe compete with, say, the likes of eBay and whatnot. So they'll charge a fee. They kind of take care of some buyer protections and whatnot. They just did an event where they offered free shipping, which worked out really well for a lot of people.
Especially Eric.
Well, on the sales side, anyway. I picked up a game, but
you shipped so many things, though.
Yeah, so like 27 things, and
oh my lord,
shipped out. I don't know, like
just games or other stuff.
Just games. 27 games.
The amount of money you saved just on shipping, right there.
Holy yeah, it was stupid. Well, I in that retrospect, I didn't really save the money because the buyer's going to pay the shipping anyway, but it allowed me to sell some cheaper games where people wouldn't pay $15 and then another $12 to ship it. So they could pick up a $15 game and free shipping to them. So it kind of worked out. I got rid of a game that market value wasn't very high, and they were able to pick it up for a cheap price without paying shipping. Now that's kind of a one-time event on Facebook Marketplace.
How did the free shipping work? Did it send you shipping labels that you just print off from there?
Yeah, they did it in a way, and I think they did it where most people aren't really going to necessarily, know exactly how much something is going to weigh. They don't have a scale in their house or whatever you use for packaging anyway. So it was like, is it going to be 1 to 2 pounds or 2 to 5 pounds or 5 to 10 pounds? And then you just say how much you think it weighs. It prints you out a label. If you think it's 2 to 5 pounds, they print you out a label for 5 pounds. So
Gotcha.
In that case, Facebook Marketplace paid for the postage, so you just printed it out. On their website, and how it works right now is they hold your money until you ship it, it arrives, and then they hold your funds for 5 days, which is a little bit different, which might also change in the future, but that's kind of how they work on their platform. At the moment, it is free, like I said. Supposedly, they're going to add a 5% commission charge to it at the end of this year.
The Facebook Marketplace thing is cool. It's good and bad for the same reason. The good news is it's kind of a like authenticated thing. So somebody's selling, you can say, okay, they've been on Facebook since 2009.
Right. Oh yeah.
So you can tell they're a real person. Oh, they just created an account 3 months ago. I'm not interested.
Have one friend or 0 friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were they trying to hide?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if you're an attractive person, you're selling things on there, it can get weird.
Sure. Like I said, just like Craigslist, you meet in a private place, or not private place, public place.
You meet him behind the 7-Eleven.
Right. You meet him in a public place, or even if you don't even feel comfortable with that, there's those places. Like I said, you meet him at the.
True. I'm not talking about that though. Now they know your name and you have your profile. That's my problem.
That doesn't really give you all that much information unless you put a lot of stuff on there that you probably shouldn't anyway.
Well, like Rachel sold something and the guy's like, "Oh, I know your husband. And she's like, I know him somewhere. I know it. I'm like, just block him. I don't know this dude. And she's like, he kept messaging her and stuff. And it's just got weird. You know what I mean?
They have a, where you can block people. So if they're getting weird,
dude, I blocked so many people.
Right, you just block them.
Not because I don't agree with what they say or anything like that, but if people get all weird, like I block them. If they're spamming and things like that, I block them. I don't care.
I will say, out of all the places that I'm going to list here, Facebook is the one place that you're going to have the most feelers or the most people that maybe aren't committed to buying. They're like, you still have that item available? That's the last thing you're going to hear from them. Or,
because they sent that same message to like 26 people.
Right. So that's one of the unfortunate things. It's just so easy to, click a button to send that message that a lot of people, might not be 100% committed before sending you a message. So you'll get a lot of fillers or people that aren't committed to buy.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay, so my number 3, this is when I come out of COVID isolation and I get my sport on, and I'm going to be taking out a lot of frustration. I'm going to go and see if I can get into some shin kicking.
All right.
Specifically kicking people's shit.
Yeah, so, okay, in this one, you get hay.
You're not going to do this.
This is fake.
No.
Look at that audience back there. That is not real.
No, this is
They're
real.
In straight jackets. Are they in straight jackets?
No, those are shepherd coats.
Yeah.
These are shepherds. And they take hay and they put it in their pants in front of their shin. But it doesn't matter. They're kicking the crap out of each other. Like, you can win the fight by having the other guy give up from pain.
Right.
How come all three of your sports so far involve kicking people?
I'm good at it. I would be good at this.
I guess boxing, it wasn't kickboxing.
Yeah.
But
Well, I would do.
George is letting out his aggressive side, man.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to lose to you in public anymore. Go ahead.
So I think I would be so good at this because you're like, it's basically judo where you can kick the crap out of the other guy's shins because
I'm good at kicking people's shins. That's literally what you just told me.
Yeah, that's true though. So if you wrestle them to the ground, you win. So they're trying not to fall down, but it's hard not to get thrown over when someone's kicking your shin real hard.
Hey, let me check my phone real quick. Nope, it's not April 1st. Go ahead.
So yeah, this one.
Like a bunch of scarecrows are fighting.
Yeah, you should check this one out. It's called shin kicking, and it's
This is real life.
It's a brilliant sport. Yeah.
I wish Matt was on this episode. This would be the greatest thing ever.
That's
Oh,
one
man.
number 3.
I can't even follow this one up, Eric.
Right.
Wow. All right. I guess I'll jump into some shin kicking with you.
Yeah.
We'll spar in my backyard.
I'll buy the hay. I just get to watch.
I'll buy the hay. My number 2 is a band called Architects, and they have a song called Doomsday. And what's so emotional about this song is that I've even said it on this episode, but in multiple episodes recently, I lost my brother a few years ago. He was killed on his motorcycle. This song is called Doomsday because I don't know the entire story, but basically the guitarist, I think, had cancer or something like that, and he was dying, and then he eventually died, and this song is about that. Basically, it's their doomsday because they lost somebody who was so close to them. And so knowing that and listening to the song and the lyrics and the way this guy screams and stuff, it is phenomenal. I'm talking Architects is one of those bands right now that is kind of paving the way for this style of music. And this song is just simply amazing. They've got another song that's called like Hereafter or something. It's like the next song they released as a single after this one. It's almost as good, but this Doomsday song is just super emotional if you know the story behind it and everything. So check that out. It's Architects. Song is Doomsday.
Nice.
Cool. All right, number 2 for me on Where You Sell Your Games. Board Game Geek Marketplace is another place that is a pretty good place to list your games. Obviously, like I said, they have a marketplace. The fee over there is 3%, so it's going to be a lot lower than a lot of the other places that you can potentially sell your games. And your market audience is other board gamers, so why not sell to them? So,
have you sold a lot of stuff on there?
I sold a decent amount of stuff, yeah. Not as much as my number 1, but a good amount.
That's fair.
I've sold a lot. On BGG, yeah.
Yeah, never really had a problem. I bought a few things as well. So, not a bad place to buy. Also, that obviously, when you're doing the conventions and stuff like that, a lot of stuff is going to go through BGG.
Well, I guess I bought stuff on there too then. And sold things.
My number, what is it? 2. My number 2. Okay. This is one that is, I just think it looks so fun. It's called Bossa Ball.
Bossa Ball.
You've heard of the Bossa Nova, right? Like it's a dance, a Brazilian dance from the 50s.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, it is.
Is that like the dude from Tekken?
That guy is. So basically, this is you're playing volleyball, but you can use your feet and your head and any kind of soccer skills, but you're playing volleyball on a massive trampoline. So
it just looks ridiculous.
Yeah. It's amazing. So you use the trampoline and launch yourself like way up in the air.
I
You can
want to see
flip
this,
around
George.
and kick
I'll
things
pay
upside
good money.
Yeah. If you don't pull that move off right there, where you're basically upside down kicking the ball,
Yeah, well,
I'm gonna be
if you fall
disappointed.
down, you're on a trampoline, you're fine. So yeah, why not?
Yeah. I fell down on a trampoline recently. It does not feel good.
Right? Yeah.
At this point, I'm so out of sports right now that I don't care. I would do it.
Yeah. All right. Like I said, I'll pay good money.
Yeah.
I'll just be in the stands for beer or something to drink.
And this is an official part of this sport. Like the bossa ball, you have to have a DJ like when you're playing it.
Bring your own DJ.
What?
Yeah.
What kind of music?
Like
dance and
I guess
stuff?
Brazilian. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha. Like, could you imagine that they have like EDM music and you have to play on the beat? So you have to kick on the boom, 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 boom.
Foul. Did not kick on beat.
That was half beat.
Oh, it's just awesome though, because I mean, these guys get so much air from the trampoline and then they're just like spiking this thing from 20 feet up and with their feet. Yeah.
It looks ridiculous. Is it BOSA ball?
It's BOSSABALL, bossa ball. Yeah, check it out.
All right. Did y'all do honorable mentions? Because I did one.
I did, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Keeping the tradition alive. All right. My honorable mention is another emotional song. The reason it's an honorable mention, though, is because it doesn't have any screaming in it, and it's more like a emo song anyway, so it kind of fits the emo songs in general. So it really doesn't belong on this list, but it's such a good song, and I've listened to it a few times again while I was cutting grass. It was released in 2007, so it's an older song, maybe 2006. It's by Escape the Fates. It's the original Escape the Fates. Not really album. It was the EP that came out after their first full album. And it's a song called Makeup. And it's very emo. So I don't know how else to say it. If you like emo music or like that's slower, it's a very, very good song. And Ronnie does really good. I mean, the whole band does a great, rendition. I don't know what to say. It's a good song.
All right.
Check it out.
Yeah. I didn't know what else to put on the honorable mention because, I mean, making a top 5 emotional metal songs, not a lot of options there.
You just put them in order.
These are the 5 I thought about. There's a few more. I could probably squeeze out a top 10.
Yeah.
But the top 5 for sure. And then, past, I might have had a 6th, and then 7, 8, 9, and 10 would have been meh. Like they were emotional and probably because I want to punch people in the pit.
Yeah, I was gonna say like none of the emotions so far are like real happy.
Well, yeah, I guess that is kind of, well, no, the Alive in the Lights one is happy.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll check that one out.
Because it's more like it's more like, look how much I love doing what I'm doing.
Okay. Yeah, that's happy. Okay. Yeah. That's fair.
Eric, honorable mention.
So I've sold it over here a couple times. Amazon. You can actually ship your items to Amazon to sell. I know a lot of people, and then there's a guy at conventions that buys up cratefuls of games to sell on Amazon. So you can sell them used, which...
What was his name again? Oh, man.
Ben? B-I-E-N. Yeah, so obviously I guess it's good business because he's done it for at least a couple of years. It's going to be easier to sell new games on there. They probably have the highest fees to sell on there, but they have a big market, and it's not a bad place to sell. They do have some gatekeeping where maybe if a distributor or a publisher says, hey, I didn't say that anybody can sell my games or whatever, they can kind of keep you off of Amazon. So that is one bad part about it.
Have you ever done that yet? Or?
Yeah, I've sold a few. Like I said, I've only sold new games and packed them up. It is one good part about it is you ship it to Amazon, they store it in their warehouse until it sells, and they ship it to that customer. So you're kind of out of the loop in terms of fulfillment. So if you're selling a lot of games, or if you're like a store or something, sure. As long as you can pay those fees, like I said, they have the highest fees of anybody. But if your game is sound for a good amount, and if it's new, it's definitely a place to keep in mind.
All right.
Cool.
My honorable mention. Have you guys heard of Zorbing?
That's negative.
Okay, well, it's like going down a big hill in a bubble, like a big plastic
like
ball.
You're in a hamster ball and it's padded.
And you go down a hill. That's Zorbing. Okay, well, so this is my honorable.
Bring it.
It's my honorable mention because it's not really a sport. It's just an activity, really.
Right.
But, okay, it's Zorbing across the ocean. So
no.
Nice.
No.
Yeah. So these things don't sink. Like you're just running on the water. You're just like going across out to wherever.
Yeah. Just bring your food and your water.
And then pop.
Yeah, actually, it's really dangerous. A lot of people get just blown out to sea and they have to get rescued by the Coast Guard all the time.
Oh yeah, I bet.
But yeah, that's my honorable mention is ocean zorbing.
Cool.
And now we're paying attention. All right. Well, my number one is probably the most emotional song on this list, and it's simply because of the content. Obviously, it's a band called Oh Sleeper, and the song is Hush Yael. Oh Sleeper is a religious band. They are a Christian band. Just FYI. They're super heavy. They're phenomenal. This CD alone is amazing. And I might put it in my top 10 as a whole CD. It is so good. The song Hush Yael is about the attack. I can't pronounce this, but it's in 1979. It's called the Nahariya attack. Nahariya. Basically, some Israelites died, and if you read through the story, they didn't die; they were murdered. But what happens in it is really disturbing on how they basically get killed and stuff. The song is about kind of like justice in the way it's set. Oh man, if you don't want to get up and punch somebody because of this song, because it intensifies your anger in a good way. You know what I mean? It's like you want to put your fist in the air and be like, yeah, justice. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, you just have to hear this song. This song, if we ever did our top 5 favorite songs, this is in it. That's how good this song is as a song. It is absolutely phenomenal. It's brutal because it's super heavy. There's a lot of really good singing, and it's like the guy can sing really well. And the content of it is amazing. And like the parts where it's like, basically we got to make these people our martyrs and fight for their justice. And it's like this part that says, rise, rise, rise. Oh my God, dude. It's like the hair stands up on your back of your neck. So good. So good. One of the best songs in metalcore ever. Fight me.
So,
I
just listened to it. I'll pump.
Yeah.
I'll fight you.
It's just playing in my head. I'm in.
We'll do some shit kicking.
Shit kick me. Oh, man. So super good. Oh Sleeper. The song is called Hush Yael, and that is spelled Yael.
All right.
Cool.
I'll check it out.
All right. For my number one. Number one for me is just actually eBay. eBay has the biggest market, I feel, on anything that's used. So if you're getting rid of some games, bulk games, their fee is a decent amount. It's 10%. Plus, you're going to pay some percentages if you're using PayPal or whatever.
Wait, I'm sorry. 10%?
10%, yeah. That's
what?
eBay's fee, which is...
Yeah, I think PayPal's like 3 or 4?
Yes, 2.9 plus 30 cents, yeah. So, say 13%.
2.9 plus 30 cents? What kind of weird?
Yeah, that's just how it works out for them. It's 30 cents per transaction plus 2.9% of whatever they're getting. So that's on shipping and anything else. So
yeah,
same with eBay as well. So it's 10%. It's more than 10% because you're paying 10% on the value of the game plus whatever you charge for shipping as well. So
oh my gosh,
in terms of base price, you're actually, I guess, paying more than 10%. But when you need to sell a game, I feel that eBay is probably one of the best places to get it sold faster. You might be able to sell it on Board Game Geek and Facebook Marketplace for more money if you're willing to wait the time.
Okay.
But if you're wanting to sell it quicker, yeah, eBay is definitely the way to go.
Yeah, if you need space.
Yeah. You need space and you need to move. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll go that route.
Man, speaking of which, I haven't been on eBay in quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, actually.
Do you check for board games on there as far as a buyer?
Every now and then. Anything, if I'm looking for something specific, I'll be like, ooh,
Yeah.
this is out of print. I'll search it every now and then and be like, okay. Or I'll put a search on there to notify me when a certain type of game, a certain game comes up. It'll notify me.
Yeah, no, it's a good one. I've used it a few times, but not enough. I don't think. I need to get rid of some games.
So the other ones are more situational. Obviously, conventions, you can only do it during conventions. Craigslist is more on the way out, although it's still used. It's free, so but it's probably the slowest way to purge some games, unless you find that one buyer that buys up a lot of games. It doesn't happen very often, but does. Once.
Do you predict that Craigslist is going to be fully gone?
It probably will
years?
stay around, but I don't see it increasing. I see it falling by the wayside more and more as maybe Facebook Marketplace kind of takes over that market more. And there's other apps on your phone. I've kind of played with those, but like I said, it doesn't really probably compete with just putting it on Facebook.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then, like I said, going back, Board Game Geek, obviously, if you have a lot of games, that's another good place to sell. Doesn't sell the quickest, but if you're looking to sell quicker and you want that broad audience that's even all over the world, I've sold to people in Russia and Europe and Australia. So they want games as well, and eBay has a platform where you can sell internationally. You just ship it to a local destination, and they kind of repack it, I guess, or relabel it and get it to that final destination. So your market is kind of the whole world.
That's true.
Okay, well,
all right, give us a weird one.
I don't know if this is the weirdest, but it is definitely going to be the most satisfying. So, you know how at Gen Con they always have these like fights with foam weapons? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Oh, is this the SCA?
Well, that would be the SCA. No, what I want to do is called Unified Weapons Master. And these are like people who go out with like actual weapons and beat the crap out of each other with specialized armor all over their bodies. And they've
like bladed weapons?
No, I think they're blunt weapons.
No, I think they're blunted. I think they're heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're they're not bladed. The armor the armor is it's several layers, and like the outside is like a hard layer, but the inside has electronics. And what it does is it registers the force.
The hit?
Like brutal fencing?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly like fencing. It registers the force of the hit, and then it has a whole bunch of data on different kinds of injuries and the amount of force it takes to produce that kind of injury. And then it will determine whether or not you've been killed.
you broke a leg, killed him.
Yeah. So
then do you have to act like you have a broken leg at that point?
No, you don't. No.
You can't lose your left leg.
Crawl across the ground.
Oh, but actually, if you're looking at this weapon right here on your picture, that's an axe.
Yes, that is an axe. And you could have an axe up against a two-handed sword, or you could have, two sticks up against, I don't know, like a mace. Who cares?
I see fingers that are unprotected.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, you can't.
This looks like a cheap sport. Looks That suit looks like $5,000.
Yeah, of course. I'm not saying I'm, going to have an easy time getting into this, but I would definitely do it. I think it'd be a blast.
Now, I have seen a similar kind of sport as well, where there's you go into like basically knight armor. You make your armor and you get a sword.
Right, and it's like it's kind of dull, but it's still a sword. Yeah,
right. Yeah,
yeah. I've seen this
and
too.
You're bashing the crap out of each other.
Yeah,
yeah.
They kind of do that in the SCA, like the Society of Creative Anachronism.
Yeah,
where they like replicate actual battles and stuff like that. I mean, it's not one-on-one combat. It's like 300 people versus 300 people.
Yeah. I was fascinated by the technology of this,
Yeah, that's cool.
It looks awesome.
It would be,
out of all this stuff, I would do this.
So
as long
cathartic,
as it's safe.
like, so much.
I don't know about that
stress.
word.
You
But
get rid of so much stress, like,
depending on who, if your landing hits or getting hits landed on you. Usually I don't like to be beat down and lose some. You know what? I needed some stress. Hit me a few thousand times.
Actually, in some movies, that is actually a way that some people get rid of stress. They'll pick a fight, start it, and just get beat up. And I guess that, I don't know. I guess that releases stress
but that's like,
for some people.
I suppose that's kind of like my elbow hurts and you punch me in the face.
Yeah,
and you're like, does your elbow still hurt?
No. Yeah,
exactly.
Maybe it's just like putting that stress elsewhere, so you're kind of forgetting about other stresses for the time being because you got a bloody lip.
Yeah.
And
yeah, some people use alcohol.
yeah, I guess so.
So it's called Unified Weapons Master.
Unified Weapons Master. Yeah, check it out on YouTube. It looks like a lot of fun.
That's awesome. I don't know. Y'all got to check these pictures out because if you're watching the video, obviously you'll see them. But that looks like a medieval knight if it happened today.
Yeah,
it is like a 2020 knight. So he'll die of COVID. Anyway, hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
Bad taste of humor. Wow, that looks nuts.
Yeah, that guy's got a little buckler, and I don't even know what else. I can't see what he's holding in his other hand, but this guy, I think he's got 2 sticks. So,
for some odd reason, I just picture their bucklers like symbols, like digital symbols. Could you imagine that? They have like drum pads all over them, so as you're beating each other, you're like,
playing music.
Doing drums.
Actually, it does. Inside the helmet, it has audio feedback when you get hit. Like, depending on what the injury is, it gives you a sound.
It just like plays broken celery sounds. And then it's like Tony Stark, your left femur has been broken. And you have to scream, repair.
And these guys, when they're fighting with the weapons, like, they can punch and elbow and kick each other. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
So wow, it's like, it's like,
I mean,
you could
UFC with weapons.
like you could kill someone with the pommel of your weapon. Like, if you hit them hard enough, you kill them. That's it.
That's fair. Hit them in the head. Go for the temple.
Yeah, if you manage to kick them that hard somehow, you're going to win. It's just go for it.
That's crazy.
It's pretty cool.
That's crazy.
All right, well, that's violent and awesome.
Yeah, that was my theme. It was either violence or soccer.
Basically, he's like,
soccer.
When I get out of COVID, I'm going to get nuts.
Where can I get the most contact?
That's right.
Yeah. All right, we wrapping this one up?
Yeah, I think we're good.
All right, we want to thank you for tuning in to episode 103 of the MeepleCore podcast. This episode was recorded on September 21st, 2020. Please send questions and comments to meeplecore@gmail.com. Go on, if you will, please go on Apple Podcasts or wherever you see our podcast, our Facebook group. Give us a rating, possibly a 5-star if you're so kind. But be honest. I mean, give us a rating that helps us in the algorithms of the internet gods. And follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Check out video versions of the show on youtube.com/MeepleCore. Until next time, this is Tim Jennette, the Metal Meeple.
Eric Ledford.
George Breden.
Keep on rocking and rolling dice.